Welcome back to Black Sensei Society. We are here. We have arrived a little bit late. We had a quick little meeting, but we got some excellent segments that we plan to do, some excellent topics that we plan to go over. Obviously, I'm your guy. I'm your host, Radell. How's everybody doing here?
Chilling, chilling,
Good,
chilling.
good. Can't complain. Doing good.
All right, bet. To start it off, I think one of the hosts, one of the captains, wanna do something.
So look. I'm a very simple man, right? I see people I like, I support. That's what I do. All right. Ironically, J Rob is not here today because that motherfucker covering the Lakers right now. That's what he's doing. He's covering the Lakers. He's a busy man, especially on Tuesdays. But you know what? Radell got his political stuff. Plus, he got some things going on behind the scenes that we just want to support. Lonnie, one of the craziest anime people that I know. I'm still worried about him. Hey, I'm still worried about you a lot. But Blue Eye Samurai is hitting. I'm sorry, it's hitting.
I told you it hits.
It's hitting. It's hitting. But boy, when you see that scene,
What up, Tank?
I needed a second.
Wait, no, you gotta specify because there's a lot of scenes. Which scene?
No.
Which scene?
Once them, oh my god, I can't believe my heart. Once them dicks come out, and they just got a plethora of them. Once them dicks come out, it's a plethora of them. Ty, I'm sorry. I know you're looking at me crazy. Blue Eye Samurai does not care about your feelings. It does not care about your feelings. You're about to see some 3D anime dicks, and you're about to enjoy it because the story is that good. And
the story is great. The story is fire.
Great.
The fighting is fire.
Does anybody know how to put the bleep sound over things for clips?
Nah.
Hey, one of these days when we get a soundboard, we'll see.
Even Miles, he came in clutch in the bottom of the ninth. We needed somebody. He came and he said, "I got you. Don't worry about it. I'm bringing it home." But I'm here to talk about Ty today. I'm here to talk about Ty.
All right,
right after the 3D dicks, he just
I'm talking about Ty.
Transition.
Crazy part is, I'm not a man who's on TikTok. I do not have an account, but I go and check how the BSS account doing. Everybody kind of doing their own thing. Crazy how I don't have a fucking clip on TikTok yet, but that's another reason.
I made one for you. That's crazy.
I haven't seen it yet. That's crazy. Week. But I everybody talking about Ty's followers. I click on there and this first pin thing is just a little thing called hustle. And I'm not gonna hold y'all.
I'll bring that to the camera so we can see it.
This motherfucker hitting.
Where'd you get that at?
Ooh, you gotta hey, just go on Amazon. It's right there.
Oh, it's on
Amazon.
It's on Amazon. It's in my bio on Instagram and TikTok.
My man over here. I don't look. Obviously, it's up to the artist's interpretation, but I think the story's great, and he hits all the shonen landmarks. You got a parent kind of struggling, the other parent's gone. The main character just thinking about his future and what the hell he's gonna do with his life. You got the comic relief. You got the asshole character. You got the potential love interest. I don't know where Ty's going, but I'm interested. Right, but when I tell you this is the first piece of manga that I have ever bought, and I wanted to support.
I appreciate that.
And hustle. You can go on TikTok right now. They still glazing Ty, and I'm joining them. I'm about to glaze the hell out of Ty. This is a great ass story, bro.
Pause.
All the pauses, but hey, y'all go ahead. I'm gonna find the link on Amazon, and I'm gonna share it with y'all. And it was an honor. It was an honor to see what Ty is cooking up. I can't wait for volume 2.
Hey, I got a sample. Hold on a second. I got a sample here.
Oh, I got something.
I might react to this on the BSS.
This one is more close to a manga, traditional manga size.
Okay.
And also, I just like the art way more in this one.
So my man's been in the lab cooking.
And we got more color pages and everything.
Well, let's see the art, Ty. Let's see.
No. Ty. Just let me know when I can buy it.
You gotta buy it to see it. Okay. I feel the vibes. All right.
Thank you for blessing us, man. Thank you for blessing us. I really enjoyed the story.
I appreciate.
I have questions. But we'll save that for after. Just
Okay, I
just
got
some
you.
questions, but I'm also worried because if I start asking them, I'm gonna start spoiling because I'm like, okay.
Mm. Hey man, shout out Ty with the manga. You know,
All right,
support
I
of
just
Black
placed my
creators.
order. I just placed my order. It says it'll be here Friday. Time better be here Friday. I'm coming.
Yo, Amazon,
I got
bro.
I
Amazon.
got Prime. That thing came as quickly as it could. That's all I'm
Hey,
saying.
man.
It
Mm.
better be here Friday. That's all I know.
Listen, I
Also,
appreciate
I'll
that.
say this right now, Ty. I'm gonna say this
$35.
right
It better
now.
be here Friday.
Ty, I'm gonna say this right now. Fuck Dante and everything he about. I don't like him. Fuck
Well,
Dante, everything he
listen,
about.
man. You know, sometimes characters you
Fuck
see
him.
them one way, but then that's not who they are. Or
Nah,
maybe
fuck
it is.
Dante. Fuck Dante. I'm just letting
He's
know
trying
this.
to make Bakugo 2.0. That's what it sounds like.
Well, I mean, you know, hopefully we all can write a Bakugo one day. You know, it's not easy
Bruh,
writing a Bakugo.
Nick, I'm like, he get mad at another girl, motherfucker. You better study. I don't know what to tell you. Shit. Fuck Dante. I said it.
Hey,
With
man.
that said, obviously we don't have our guy J Rob. He's busy doing stuff relating to the Lakers. You know, shout out J Rob doing some business. So we got a guest, Miles. What's good, my
Yo,
guy?
what's going
How you
on?
doing, my boy?
I'm chilling. I'm doing good.
I saw you in the Discord, so I know this guy. His name's Rax. You know, we've known each other for a while. You know what I'm
Oh my
saying?
God.
He
What
kind
a
of got
great
me
episode.
introduced into the Black Clover content community,
hmm
and he's a diehard fairy tale. And I saw Miles going a little back and forth with Rax with the fairy tale debates, and it's kind of cooking. Not gonna lie, Miles. I haven't seen that side of you before. You're kind of cooking him a little bit. I feel you.
I'm sorry. For fairy tale to be the hill that some people die on is crazy. It is crazy to go that hard for fairy tale. Like I've never.
Why?
My girl's favorite anime is fairy tale, but I've never seen anyone go that hard for fairy tale. He was saying how Attack on Titan is trash, how
One
freaking
Piece.
One Piece is trash, but fairy tale is God's savior. It's God's grace. So I
I,
was just
I,
like,
I don't mind him going so hard for it. I just wish that he would acknowledge some of the weaker points of the story. And I feel like that's what he was refusing to do at any cost. Give me something. I could give him some of the bad parts about One Piece, and I love One Piece. He wouldn't give me anything.
Bro, he's a diehard fairy tale
yeah,
defender.
I love
I
Tokyo
don't
Ghoul,
tell
but
you.
I could talk about Tokyo Ghoul's faults all day because it
For
has
real.
faults.
Hey, man.
Ugh.
Maybe First Touch is that guy.
To start out, you know what we do? We start out with the agenda hour. We start out seeing what kind of agendas that people be pushing. And since Miles is the guest, we'll start off with you. What agenda do you want to push right now? And I will say this for reference for moving forward. It doesn't necessarily have to be anime and manga related, so I'll just put that out there. But what's your agenda?
I don't have an agenda to push, but I want an agenda push back. I'm tired of all of the Admiral hate in One Piece. I don't get it. Like, I don't get how you can look at the portrayal, what they've done, and what people have said, and say that they're weak. Not to say that they're stronger than a Yonko or top of the verse. I think Akainu top of the verse. But other than that, if anybody in this series fights two of them, they're more than likely taking the L. 3, forget about it. But I like with recent events, I'm tired of the way the context has been bent to kind of, I don't know, throw the admirals. There's all of this hate, man. You know, Shanks just did what he did to Green Bull, and it got really ugly on Twitter. It got ugly on Reddit, and I'm just like, my boy Green Bull, you want him to fight Luffy's crew, Kid's crew, Law's crew, all of the Yakuza, and the red-haired pirates? What are we doing? They're like, it would be suicide. It was already suicidal. He would die if he continued to fight all of those people. I don't know, man. I'm tired of the slander. I like slander, but make it make sense. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm with you. I feel like we saw whether or not you think Luffy is stronger than Kizaru. Luffy ran out of time. Like Kizaru was right there and he made him run out of time. So it's not like Luffy would just no diff Kizaru. He had a hard time dealing with them. And I agree with the Green Bull stuff. People oversell the fact that Shanks was there. Like Shanks is there. He's also really strong, but like, come on. There's so much people on that island. Like, what do you think this man's about to do? So yeah, I'm there with you, especially when we see even Fujitora, he doing his thing. I don't see the hate on Fujitora. The only issue I had with Fujitora is the fact that he couldn't cut the bird cage. That was my only issue. I don't know
That was
why he
bad.
couldn't cut the bird cage, but he could have cut it. Other than that, he's strong too. So I'm there with you. I'm there with you. Anybody else got an agenda they want to push?
I'm waiting for everybody else to go before I push mine.
Oh,
My agenda that I'm pushing is that Gojo did not dominate the fight with Sukuna.
oh my!
did not.
What you mean?
No, hold on a second.
Y'all cooked me. Y'all cooked me when I said that.
Because the people think,
I wasn't there that day, Miles.
because you know what the problem is, that people
Don't have
think
me with them.
once Sukuna used Maharaga that means that he can know, that means that Gojo won the fight, and that's just not how fights work. That's just not how fights work.
That's not how fights work. But at the same time, it's a 1v3, my nigga.
Lonnie,
you had to jump my boy.
Damn it, this is my. Hey, yo,
We about to jump you.
Radell, I would like to reclaim my time. This is my.
Reclaim your time.
I want to
Reclaim
reclaim my
it.
time. The problem people have is they are upset at the way that Sukuna's powers work. Sukuna's powers work is that if I reincarnate into your body, I can use your curse techniques. That is how his powers work. People are upset that his powers work that way. If he goes to someone's body and his ability is now I can use this person's abilities. Now, something people say is that, well, he learned from Kenjaku. First of all, let's play pretend, right? When does that matter? That's like me saying, well, I count Goku's techniques minus Ultra Instinct, Kamehameha, Spirit Bomb because he learned from other people. Who gives a damn who he learned it from? It's his ability now. And his ability is I can take your shit and I can use it. So guess what? Gojo thought he could still win. Gojo literally knew he had Gojo knew all these things and lost. Y'all can't call cheating. You can't cry, complain. Gojo knew everything going. He said, "I'll win," and he lost. Get over it. Hey man, if you the reason I say it's not a back and forth is because how a lot of times what Gege would set up the chapters is it would essentially the tension was shift. Gojo or Sukuna would seemingly have the upper hand, and the other would take it back by the end of the chapter. Perfect example is a chapter where Sukuna got hit with the Black Flash. People want to talk about, oh, he hit Sukuna so hard. Mara comes out and cuts Gojo on the chest, and Gojo says the next chapter, dang, I could lose. That means that the advantage shift back to Sukuna. You may not like to use Maharaga. You can complain about using Maharaga, but that doesn't change the fact that means that Gojo's not dominating. If Gojo says in his brain, damn, I could lose. That to me is like, come on, bro. He would set up the chapters where the flow is one person seems that advantage, it would get taken by the end, and it kept going back and forth each chapter. That's how the fight was structured. You can be upset about it. You can be upset that Sukuna took Magmi's body. You can complain and cry. That is how it happened, bro.
Can I rebuttal now?
Go ahead.
Okay. So you're right. Gojo lost. I acknowledge that. It took me a while. It took me weeks, maybe months. Gojo lost. But I've also had time to reflect.
Oh my gosh.
Maharaga is probably like top 5 strongest beings in the verse right now.
No, well, hold on a second. I think Sukuna made him that powerful.
Yes.
I'm just saying, based off its ability to adapt.
He boosts all of the Shikigami.
No.
Yeah, he boosts all the Shikigami. I would say Maharaga by itself.
But his understanding of how it works contributes to his power.
Let me respond to that, Lonnie. The reason why I would say no is because Sukuna 15 Fingers was just trying to understand how does Maharaga work. Maharaga without being adapted to is not that powerful. It's not. Like for example, Yuta said, I can take them on. Like if Maharaga doesn't have time to adapt, it can be beaten. It's the fact that Sukuna is the fact that Gojo could not kill Sukuna quick enough. That was the problem. He said because Gojo was like, I got 4 turns to kill. I have a certain amount of time. I have to beat Sukuna. When that wheel spins 4 times, he would have adapted. And Gojo literally says at the end of like chapter 231, 232, well, I don't need that much time to kill you. And he didn't do it still. Gojo was saying, I can kill you. Before your will freeze adapt, I'm gonna kill you before that. He didn't do it.
No, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. He fumbled. But like I said, so Maharaga, there's probably only like around.
You're telling me getting cut across your chest is fumbling now? That's crazy.
No, he failed. He lost. But there's probably only like around 3 to 4 characters in the verse currently that could like one-shot Maharaga. That I like what? Sukuna, Gojo, Kenjaku, Yuta, and then maybe who was the other?
I think Kashimo and Hikari could probably beat Maharaga. Like at least that.
I don't know what move Hikari has that can one-shot Maharaga. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't
know. All I know is that until Maharaga adapts, those characters are just more powerful than him.
Yeah, Kashimo, I will give you because obviously he's just like get super strong.
Kashimo is like the Gojo of his era. He's not stronger than Gojo before people start crying, but he's of his era. He was the Gojo.
But yeah, Sukuna is
I
the
don't know about
strongest.
Akari either.
I didn't want to admit it. Sukuna is the strongest. But Gojo was 10 toes down throughout that whole fight. Yes, it was back and forth.
It was a good fight. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it was a good fight. It was back and forth. But also, Sukuna being number 1 in the verse, Maharaga arguably being top 5, 6, or whatever. Yes, it's all Sukuna's power, but still Gojo fighting the number 1 and number 5, 6 at the same time. That's a feat in itself. I'm sorry. It's a feat.
He's top 2.
Yeah, he's top 2.
There's
I
nothing.
agree.
Yeah,
he's top 2. So yeah, he lost the fight, but at the same time, if freaking Muhammad Ali is getting beat by Mike Tyson and Sugar Ray Leonard, I'm not gonna be like,
hold on a second.
You still lost because
hold on a second. Like, is it
Muhammad Ali's still gonna think, oh, I'm gonna win, because that's just his mentality. He's gonna be like, I'm gonna win. But at the same time, we all know he's probably gonna get knocked the hell out.
Hold on a second. Is it part of Mike Tyson's boxing ability to control Sugar Ray and use his?
Yeah, he tagged him in with his glove.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's not the same thing. What you just described is like if Sukuna and Yuta jumped him, but him using his ability to take Megami's body is not the same thing as me getting.
Yeah, I no longer have a problem with that. I came over that.
Hey, as long as we're on the same page, bro. Because
one and number 5 fighting number 2, and number 2 still almost coming out.
No, it's Maharaga is just it's a curse technique. He's not.
Yeah, but it's still number 5 or 6 in the verse.
But
it is.
It's the same thing.
We all saw it going Michael Phelps last episode. We all saw it.
But it's more like it's an ability though. It's like it's not looked at as this is a person. It's an ability you use.
Yeah, it's like when Naruto.
I did want to say when it comes to Maharaga, like, because I did love the fact in the last episode how even though like he doesn't have a face or anything, like you can clearly see like it does have a sense of self almost when it was fighting Sukuna, like when it was smiling and when it was making different expressions. It did like have like it wasn't like a person, but it did have like its own little personality, which I felt like they did accentuate more than like what it was in the manga, because it would grin every now and then, but I felt like in the episode, like you really got to see like, oh no, it just wants to fight, like it's enjoying itself with Sukuna, because Sukuna was enjoying the chaos, enjoying the destruction, and then Maharaga, I felt like got on that same wavelength, was also enjoying itself at the same time.
Yeah, he did his thing. I mean, I'm with Ty. I was one of those people who's like, bro, y'all are overreacting with Sukuna, and he did his thing. He did what he had to do, and he killed Gojo. R.I.P. You know what I'm saying? My agenda probably would be. I was thinking what it would be. What should I, slander? The Exorcist 2023 movie because that thing was terrible. Should I say American Dad is better than Family Guy? But
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that at all. To bring up is that I'm watching an anime right now, and it's called The Case Study of Vanitas.
Beautiful anime.
And I'm gonna be honest, this might be one of my favorite, if not favorite, vampire anime that I've seen. So shout out that anime. Got a very interesting character. One of the characters, if you love your brown skin, we got a brown skin MC, you know what I'm saying? Everybody loves that, of course. And then the world is very interesting with the vampire lore. Usually I'm not a big vampire guy because usually the stories are pretty basic, but I'm messing with this.
Is it better than Eminence of Shadows?
Yes.
Oh my.
Yes. Lonnie, it's true. Come on now. Yes.
This is one of the rare times where I will say I think they're on the same tier.
It's just one of the top 5 popular anime of the season.
That don't move me, man.
No, but Case Study. But the Case Study of Vanitas is a really interesting anime. I don't know if you finished it yet. I've watched it twice now.
Episode 6.
Well, hold on a second.
Oh, so you're not even on the second core. Okay.
Wow.
Well, hold on a second. Is Eminence of Shadows like the McDonald's of anime? Because it's like it's top 5, but it's like, is it? I'm asking. I don't know. I haven't watched it. I don't know. I haven't watched it.
No,
it's more like the Burger King, where it's like
that's so disrespectful. That's so disrespectful.
People know it's popular, but they don't know why.
It just came out this year. It just came out this year. It was so good. Ty. The show was so good. It got 2 seasons in 1 year.
Oh my,
Mickey. Super Mega. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You out here sounding like them people who think the bubble ring don't count.
It don't.
That's what I'm hearing right now.
It don't?
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God.
You can just hear the biasness in his voice. You can
Hey
just hear it.
man, it is what it is, bro. Lonnie, do you have an agenda before random?
I do, unfortunately, and it pains me to say this, but Kishimoto has been letting me down, y'all. He has been letting me down. He did it twice in 1 week. I'm sorry. The Boruto chapter, we were all talking about it. What the hell happened to Code? What the hell happened to Code? Code might be the biggest villain fall off in manga anime history. Because if we really just go by chapter to chapter, he was a badass. He was supposed to be like the next stronger than Naruto and Sasuke, like the failed Otosuki, OP power, time skip, first chapter, he's just getting bitched, just getting spanked over and over and over again. No diff. Like, and it's not even like I think I said it would have been a better no diff if like he's like you see him using all his attacks, he's trying his hardest and he's just failing. That would be respectable. He just showed up, got touched in his chest, and then like low-key has a hangover wanting to throw up. Like, yo, it is whack. And then he just bails. Like, yo, this is so anticlimactic. How do you build up a character through like half of the time skip, pre-time skip, saying like, oh, watch out for Code, Code's coming, we have to stop Code from unlocking his powers. He unlocks his power and he's dog water. That is such bullshit writing. Second, I played the new Naruto game that just came out. Kishimoto wrote the story. It was like supposed to be a special story that he wrote. Apparently, he put a lot of time into it. Can this man stop hating on the Uchiha? Like, it's so basic. Every villain is around the Uchiha. Like, if you just hate them, just say that. Why can't he be more original? Like, he had. There was also the Sarutobi, like the Sarutobi and Senju were involved, but that was it. Like, you just said, like, oh, like, yeah, they're involved, but like, whatever. He basically made.
Hold on, stop lying. Like you said, original. Did he make it up? Is it not original?
It's the same type of villains. He literally pulled Uchihas out his ass, and he didn't even explain it correctly. Like, it was just like, oh, these Uchihas that were sealed since basically in the Madara days, they just got unsealed, and they're just the same age or whatever. This one girl who I guess had like the Mangekyo, but she was basically a slave to the Uchiha and used as a weapon, and that she was low-key Boruto's love interest. And yeah, it was a weird thing. But at the same time, if you really think about it, she's supposed to be like 150 or some shit. Whatever. I don't know.
That is a felony.
Age is just a number. You know what I'm saying?
No, but she's still a child or whatever. And then, like, I don't know. But still, it's like the fact that, like, every villain.
Hold on, Lonnie. That's why you support Raphtalia and Naofumi getting together, and you know it's wrong. Just because she leveled up. She's still 4 years old, bro.
No, she's Boruto's age. She's Boruto's age, and then she got sealed away. I don't know how that stopped her aging process.
Before you continue, let's not get canceled after 1 month, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to get canceled. No,
I don't know. Y'all can't prove anything. I didn't say anything, bro.
No, but she's around Boruto's age or whatever. They connect or whatever, and it's like the whole, oh, you're not a weapon, you're a person type shit. It was boring. I grinded that thing for like a good 5-6 hours last night. Completely bored. It was basic. They could have gone into the Uzumakis. They could have. And also, what is with his obsession with Boruto and that guy from the movie, Taneri? Why is Taneri just keep on involving himself with Boruto for no reason? Like, it makes no sense.
In the movie? I mean, in the game?
Yeah, he's like Boruto's guide in the game.
Yeah, can I ask y'all a question?
He's giving him more than 10 Saigon.
As someone who doesn't read Boruto, I hear a lot about this Code fella. Why Code always getting his ass whooped?
That's what I'm saying.
We don't know.
But he's just getting spanked.
Pre-time skip he was him. Pre-time skip he was.
But I heard pre-time skip he was. This is what I heard. This is Street saying. Street said he be getting his ass whooped since he got introduced. I don't know.
No.
Nah, I'm be honest. There's another segment later on, and I'm saving my Code talk for that segment, bro.
Well, I'm worried because Kishimoto. We can all agree that the original Naruto before Shippuden was like his best body of work. Shippuden may have had better fights, but Naruto itself was like the best body of work. And
He's
then
falling off. Is that what you're saying?
Boruto happened, and
Still never
Boruto.
finished.
I'm sorry, no, Boruto is just fanfare for Naruto fans. That is like the anime itself to me is a disgrace. Why? Like, no, it's a disgrace. Why am I seeing like 4 or 5 episodes of Sasuke fighting a dinosaur? This is a ninja show. Why is he fighting a dinosaur? Why is this
that
happening?
technically is a manga.
No. Why is a ninja fighting a dinosaur fighting with a dinosaur?
They were cooking him, too.
Hold on a second, but Lonnie, why is a ninja fighting with a toad?
This is not summoning. This is not summoning.
You miss, but I guess what I'm saying is that like we see ninjas fight with octopuses and toads, but why is the dinosaur a stretch?
It's the like he's in jail. He's in jail with a dinosaur. How does that even? Who comes up with this stuff? Who comes up with this stuff?
Oh, wait.
It's because it wasn't a ninja dinosaur. It was just a normal dinosaur.
So
It was
question,
normal.
no. Question,
Wait,
Lonnie.
because it's a normal
So
dinosaur.
was he just chilling and then a dinosaur
Not a
pulled
ninja
up?
dinosaur, it's a normal
Bro, I don't.
I guess
I can't. I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't even. I just saw like because I was like skimming through the Boruto stuff, like waiting when they're actually gonna get back to the manga material, and I just see Sasuke running around with his one arm with a freaking dinosaur as his buddy. I'm like, what is happening right now? And they're like chasing cats, and they're doing all this other stuff. I talked to Miles. There was so much different things that they could have done better with Boruto. Like instead of this whole code bullshit, I think like, oh, Otsutsuki, what if they had like a royal guard? And like the royal guard, since like Kaguya hasn't showed up, Momoshiki hasn't reported back, royal guard of Otsutsuki clan just pulls up. That's like a good 10 characters right there. Instead, we have Konohamaru's baby mama as a tree monster. We have that bug guy, and then we have Sasuke as a tree monster. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're just recycling characters instead of making new stuff. Like I don't know. Like there's so many different avenues that Boruto could have gone. They could have, especially also with all this anime material, they could have gone in on like these other characters. They could have gone in with how Rock Lee's doing, how Ten's doing. They could have they keep on like mentioning like, oh, eventually
I agree.
we'll
Nobody
bring back
cares
Itachi.
about them. No,
They could have. You know what would have been a good storyline instead of freaking dinosaurs? What if Itachi and Neji got reincarnated and Sarada and Boruto had to interact
They've
with them?
already
Time
done the
I'm just saying, that's better than a dinosaur, nigga. It's better than
No. Let me stop you right there, Lonnie. Let me stop you right there. You just complained 5 seconds ago about them recycling characters, and then say, "Please recycle characters." Hold on, stop.
I'm just saying things that they could have done better. They can recycle better than what the recycling.
Yeah. And then you said, "Let's get a 10 story." Stop it.
Yeah, you don't mean that.
No,
Long.
I'm saying what they're doing. What's in the actual anime is like them just doing bullshit missions. I'm saying, why don't you actually go into like character development, stuff like that, like stuff that's actually meaningful and impactful to the story? Why am I watching you chase a cat again?
Let me actually not what you just said. What type of story what could Tenta provide that would be impactful? What would Tenta provide that's impactful?
It would make depth. It would make depth instead of me just seeing them do like bullshit missions.
No, Lonnie, the problem with that is that any character can be better if you just dive more into them. But what would 10 provide to the story of Boruto?
I don't know. Maybe
just following 10 just cause is not good writing.
10 was just an example.
I think he was talking out of excitement. Yeah, exactly. Lonnie.
Okay.
Like, maybe if he would have got some people in Boruto's class and developed them instead of the dinosaurs, that would have been much better to serve the purpose.
The dinosaurs are
that was a bad art.
It is what it is.
The dinosaurs got development.
No, basically what happened.
Dinosaurs got development, and not people.
The reason why Kishimoto created that is the reason why Kishimoto created that story is because he wanted to develop Sakura and Sasuke's relationship. That is the only reason why that story exists.
But even that's not important to the story.
It's not.
It could be in the,
I would say there's a lack of connection between the two, and that was the most we ever got in the.
I'm sorry, he hit it and quit it. We all know the truth. He hit it and quit it.
Naruto, Naruto Hinata got a whole movie, so they was like, Sakura and Sasuke deserve something. You know what I'm saying? Two main characters.
Some dinosaurs.
Sasuke actually, he finally figured out what marriage is, and he was like, oh, like Sakura.
He's never home.
So
Also, I think I said before how Kishimoto said that like the Naruto and Boruto relationship is supposed to reflect him and his kids. After every little mission, Baruto's like, "Where's Dad? Oh, he's not here. Where's Dad?" Like, I get it. Spend some time with your kids, nigga. Spend some time with your kids. Like literally, it was like 5-6 times in my 6 hours of playing. Baruto's asking where his daddy's at. And he's just busy, man, bro. He's just busy. I'm like, bro. Your kids.
Random. What is your agenda?
Bro, I'm sorry. Let me say this real quick, bro. He is the president of Ninja Town. What do you mean? He'll spend time when he see them little niggas.
He's the leader of all these other ninja towns too.
Let me say this. All right. This season, we have been blessed with some really good anime. Eminence of Shadow is there. Frieren is there. Under Ninja, which is something that y'all should check out, is there. But I am a man who probably is more diverse with his anime watching. I understand we're going to talk about shonens a lot on the podcast, but I am not going to sit there and watch as a great anime is underrated and low-key disrespected. You know what? It's time. Goblin Slayer is art, you Philistines. All right? First things first. You know what? Put some respect on his name. Put some respect on his name real quick. Put me on a big screen. Put me on big screen, Radell. Put me on a big screen. All right? Look at it right here.
As long as you don't show any crazy scenes, you know what I'm saying?
No. Look at that. A great story. A badass main character. A great cast. It's also the best way anime can ever do a D&D campaign without actually doing a D&D campaign. And I'm telling you this right now. A lot of y'all love Thorfinn. Y'all should be loving Goblin Slayer as well. Mind you, Thorfinn's journey is way farther than Goblin Slayer. But I'm telling you right now, y'all are sleeping on Goblin Slayer. And I would not be able to sleep tonight if I didn't say so. Goblin Slayer is killing it right now. This thing's good enough. It even got a movie. Y'all don't even know about the movie Goblin's Crown. And also, I know we talked about Frieza being the biggest anime racist. I think Goblin Slayer got it. If he see green, you might die for real. If you green on a goblin, it's on sight. It's on sight, and he can do it any way you need him to do it. Oh, you need to choke him out? He got you. You need to use fire? He got you. One time,
we're talking about the main character being racist right now. I just hope we all know.
He literally used a mirror. Hold on.
Technically, he is. He hates all goblins.
He hates all goblins on sight. And mind you, is the anime perfect? No. All right, Cowgirl's basically just there for fan service. She's basically just like a toned down Tamaki from Fire Force, but she serves a purpose. I'm telling y'all right now. I was so disappointed when Radell said he only watched the first season and he was good. How dare you, sir? How dare you, sir? Well, this is right up your alley. All right. I don't know about anybody else, but y'all sleeping on Goblin Slayer, and I am not gonna tolerate it anymore. When y'all let me calm down because I know some people are gonna watch this later and they're gonna say, "Oh, it's too crazy." Yet some of y'all still wait every month for the new Berserk chapter to come out. Like Berserk ain't even crazier. How dare you? How dare you?
To be fair, after the first episode, it's really not that bad.
The first episode is there just to shock you, and I can't defend that, but also to show you that this ain't no lily white thing. And first of all, Goblin Slayer has affected me so much. I don't mess with goblins unless they're in reincarnated as slime. Those are the only goblins I mess with. Other than that, it's on site with them.
Hey man.
Oh, so you racist now too? Like,
hey man, some people
can't trust them.
Some people deserve it. You know,
can't trust the goblins. Can't trust them.
I would say this. Like, I
barely even trust Gopta.
I watched the full first season of Goblin Slayer. It's other than the cringe stuff, it was interesting to see our boy's journey. I tried reading the manga actually after it. I opened up first page, I closed it, never gonna read it ever again. I'm like, bro, ain't no way. Ain't no way. I saw what I saw, bro. Like these goblins
was that bad?
Hey man, I feel sorry for Goblin Slayer's sister. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
it's crazy.
So the
So
reason
I'm
why
like, I'm
yeah.
good on that.
So don't read that, is what you're
I'm
the
saying.
reason
Don't
why
read that.
Goblin
Okay.
Slayer is the way that he is, where he hates goblins, because goblins attacked his home village and his sister got. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm
As
good
J
on
Rob
that.
likes to say, she got cheek snatched, and I don't appreciate it. That's
You
why he's
know,
always on site. He's always
it's
on site.
definitely good way. It's a very easy way to establish motive.
But
I'll say
also,
that.
it also
Very-
has Goblin Slayer has a prequel manga showing how Goblin Slayer first started training before he gets to where we see him in the anime, which is good. You learn more about the world itself. Oh, it's great. It's great. And also, if you love D&D, you should be reading Goblin Slayer anyway. You be whoever is controlling Goblin Slayer. If he does actually have a player, even though I would argue that he does not, because of he planned so meticulously that he doesn't need a player for the D&D campaign. Like he's killing it. He's killing it. And also the growth of Priestess herself. Like I think Ty would love how much Priestess has grown, especially how when you first meet her in the story to where she is right now in the story. She's fantastic.
Well, maybe some people will get into it. As we said, the first episode, the first chapter. I don't know other chapter. I never read.
Oh,
I couldn't.
okay.
But I can't speak on any other chapters.
He looked it up. He looked it up immediately.
Oh, see, and he found out what I'm talking about. It's just not it, bro. But with that said, you might find it interesting for after that. Maybe I'm not gonna say anything else if you find it appealing.
You like Overlord, but you say Goblin Slayer crazy? Get out of here, bro.
But with that said, I'm gonna save this. We'll go into our first conversational topic, and then probably do Fraud Watch because there's definitely someone that deserves to be on there, and some other sub segments. But we have this conversation constantly. You know what I'm saying? People be disrespecting my guy, Yuno, and Ty said, you know what? We gotta have this debate. So we're gonna do it. I'm gonna talk about my guy, what I find appealing about and his character. Ty is gonna be talking about Aki, and then we'll leave it for everybody else to kind of say their piece on that. So who should start it at? Ty, you want to start
You
it?
need to convince us, so you go first.
I need to convince you.
You're on an island by yourself. Right
Yeah.
now, unless Miles thinks differently.
No.
Where did Lonnie go? Wait.
Yeah, Lonnie left. He was that bad. He said, "I'm out of here, bro."
Yeah, I think everyone, even we all know Aki's easily better character than
Yuno would meet Aki and say, "This man's a better man than me." That's what Yuno would do.
So, to kind of preface this, I'm going to say this, you know what I'm saying? To allow the people to understand where I'm coming from, there might be an inkling of bias to an extent, because when I first got in the YouTube game, the first type of content that I started doing was Black Clover. So Black Clover was what I made my YouTube channel about. Black Clover is what I made a lot of content about. Made a lot of content about a lot of different people, including of course. So I know a lot about So I'm just gonna put that out there. I know a lot about When it comes down to diagnosing a character, I always say this a lot. There's a few things that I always look into: the entertainment value, their development, and how well they fit their theme and role in the story. So let's break this down. First things first, people say that this guy hasn't developed, and I just don't see it the same way. I don't think is the same character at the beginning of the story that he is by the current version, because it's not done technically, of the story. Obviously, when we got introduced to him, we kind of understood that him and Asta had a very interesting relationship. Then we got the backstory of Asta to kind of learn a little bit about who was. Was an individual who was a little kind of meager. He didn't have confidence, right? He was kind of very shy. He wasn't very confident. He wasn't very courageous. And a situation took place where some guy drunk tried to take advantage of our young boy here, And it wasn't until Asta kind of came out there, did what he did to save Yuno and provide Yuno some light on what it means to be strong. So light on what it means to have confidence, what it means to have a goal. Yuno kind of learned a lot from him there, and then he kind of vowed at that point that he will be strong. He'll be even greater than the person he saved him, greater than his brother, greater than his rival. So that was his first declaration. So after that, Yuno kind of spent the rest of his life kind of growing towards that, to be this individual, had a very simple goal. Now we know that Yuno still cared about Asta, but he was a type of rival to not necessarily help Asta. He wants Asta to do everything he's doing while Yuno focus on what he's doing. So they're all both motivating each other, but they're not necessarily kind of paving each other's paths for them, right? So we learn about Yuno. Yuno goes to the magic exam. He shows how good he is. He shows how capable he is. He shows that he's a prodigy. He shows that he works hard. He shows that he is strong because he wants to be strong. But at the same time, he knows that his motivation, as well as Asa's motivation, are each other. They are striving for a singular goal. So a lot of what Yuno was focused on this goal to be as great as he initially learned to be someone great, not only for himself, but for Asta and the people from Hajj village as well. It wasn't until later on that he started to kind of open up his perspective, right? He started relying on other people. He started seeing the world for what it is. He started looking beyond just himself, just Asta, the only person comparable to him. And then moving forward in the future, his relationships with other people started to grow. People started seeing Yuno as more than a solitary fighter who just thinks of himself and wants to be great on his own, but someone that they can rely on, and then Yuno can rely on them. So Yuno gradually growed in terms of his connections and relationships to other characters, to the point where they wanted him to be vice captain of the Golden Dawn. They looked at him differently. This opened his eyes. The one person who hated Yuno's guts the most, matter of fact, in terms of Langris, was so changed so much from his interaction with Austin Yuno, and saw who Yuno was and how he inspired people and how he's changed, that Langris willingly gave his position to Yuno to become the vice captain of the Golden Dawn. And we see how much of this relationship affected him, because he was now the guy of the Golden Dawn. Or even when he learned about him being prince. So this is exactly who he's supposed to be: a prince, a royal, a leader. He already had that position given to him. But he said, no, I am part of the Clover Kingdom. I'm here to protect the people I know. So he went back to the Golden Dawn. They got massacred, and it devastated. It destroyed Yuno. This is like the first time we've seen Yuno break down like this. We have never seen this before. And then obviously he had his fight with Xenon. He shows more of how much of a leader he is because he becomes a captain. And that is really showcasing. Now, I'm not going to pretend that this is like Aaron development or anything like that, right? But to say that Yuno doesn't change from the beginning to the end is completely false. Another thing that I want to kind of bring out is that Yuno's role in the story is something I appreciate so much for Black Clover. Usually when I'm seeing rivals, it's, a situation where it's like, okay, he's a rival. There's just this friction. It's like there's a disconnect between the two characters. Whereas Yuno and Asa's relationship, although they are constantly competing, constantly outdueling each other, they're constantly challenging each other. It's showcasing a unique style of rivalry that isn't toxic, that isn't hateful, but is supportive, which I appreciate, because I've really never seen that in shonen, of this type of basically healthy rivalry between the two characters. Because I've already said how Asta inspires Yuno, but also how Yuno inspires Asta, and what they represent for the story is also very important. The Black Clover magical world, everything is basically run with magic. The magic, powerful, the strongest mages, the royals, ton of mana, even though all their mana is stolen from the elves. Ton of mana, though. They're the richest. They're the nobles. They're basically classless. They hate everybody that has little magic to no magic. So the epitome of who Yuno was is the epitome of what this world is. The epitome of what Asta is the antithesis of what this world is. And that is represented through that entire story. As these two individuals, with Asta being the antithesis who all the world hates, but he strives with hard work and anti-magic, and Yuno being this, this beacon, being the individual who was chosen and loved by Mana. He is the chosen one, basically. But he also breaks the mold because he doesn't see people as less than. He doesn't see people as nobodies and less than human. No, he sees people for who they are. He sees people for the person that they're supposed to be, and that is important for as both of these characters grow through the Black Clover universe. The reason why the Black Clover universe constantly changes, obviously in part to Asa, but the only reason why Asa is who he is to in part to Yuno and what Yuno provides for the story and what Yuno represents for the story. This Yuno, even though people were looking at him and saying that he's supposed to represent this kind of royal magic evil individual, the perfect embodiment of him kind of counteracting that situation is when everybody got turned into an elf. Everybody who stole the mana from the elves, all the royals and nobles, they got turned into elves. They became evil. Yuno was the only individual that didn't change. The only one that broke the mold, the only one that broke the fate of everyone that was bound to happen due to like years of a situation that kind of put due to the curse of, I forget his name, the War Devil, and what he did to the elves. Only one that didn't fall into that mold. And with that said, what Yuno was in terms of being the chosen one, but not abiding by this kind of hostile personality, and how we motivated Asta and how Asta became a new vision of how the world can be is very powerful. And then obviously I find Yuno entertaining. I think he got some, entertainment is a little bit more subjective, so it's not really in the equation. But people say it. He has cool abilities. He has cool moments. He has cool action when he's on screen. I like his quips. I like his presence. So that's a little bit more subjective. So I find him entertaining anytime he's on screen. And a lot of Yuno's moments are very powerful moments for Black Clover, as we know. So that is my spiel when it comes to Yuno.
Ty, before you go, because I think mine's going to be a lot shorter.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to talk about.
I'm gonna say this real quick because I got some food coming, being like 6 minutes. So y'all can go ahead. Y'all can go ahead of me. But I'm gonna be back because I heard a lot of.
Yeah, because I'm not even gonna be. I'm leaving the whole Aki aspect to you, Ty. I'm leaving that all to you. Because I also love Yuno, but my biggest, I feel like the actual story ruined Yuno in a big way. So, and you actually covered a lot of it, Radell. So, as you said, like the society is built off like how it's flawed, how like the royals and people of affluence, like they look down on everybody else, and how like because they have stronger magic, they feel everyone is lesser than them. Mm-hmm. Then comes Yuno, as powerful as them, as poised with them, does everything with such grace, such power, such validity, and I feel like him ended up being a royal kind of takes away from his character, because think about it like this: if a world basically, if there's like racism and not racist, well, if royals look down on somebody because they're weak, and then someone coming up from that upbringing is as strong as them, as impactful as them, acts just like them, but in a better way, acts like the best of them, but they're a regular commoner, I feel like that kind of equalizes the society more than just like, oh, in fact, he was one of us all along. If he wasn't one of y'all, but he was still as good, if not better than y'all, and he showed that, just because I'm a regular person does not mean I'm less value than you. I feel like that would have been a lot more better than his character, because not only is he a royal, he's a prince. He's the top echelon. So like I'm just
the problem with that is one, that's what Asta represents for the story. So that Yuno and Asta both can't do
but
that.
here's why I
It's in
disagree
role.
because Asta because
Asta is that person that shouldn't. He defies everything that the Royals expected.
yeah, he does, but he also goes through a different way. Goes through like goes through the exact same lines that he was the commoner in like
and then he did he
what's the goal?
Well, hold
But what
on.
I'm saying, what's the Golden Dawn? Golden Dawn is basically all Royals. And he was the one commoner.
They didn't learn about him being a prince until the time skip.
But that's what I'm saying.
All of that is irrelevant because he already made the impact he made before anybody learned who he really is. And the impact of Yuno learning that he is already royalty and saying no to that, to go back to the Clover Kingdom, to fix the Clover Kingdom, to help the people that he created basically a family with, just shows how dedicated he is to the ambition that he set out for himself.
No, and I agree, like he's dedicated to the ambition, but I thought it was a really beautiful thing in the story, in the beginning of the story, that he's like probably the only commoner in the Golden Dawn, but he's paving his way. He's grinding. He's proving himself with all these.
They're on the Forsaken Realm, so they're
right there. I was just random.
So he's below.
He's below cap that Radell is speaking right now.
I haven't spoke cap.
Look at.
I don't think he's capping, but I don't feel like he's like looking at this one like he was the.
I feel about this entire section because I'm gonna have to cut this out and.
Don't they consider Asta a commoner?
Yeah,
they're from the Forsaken Realm, so they're less than commoners.
Because I'm saying Asta going through with the Black Bulls is different than if Asta was in the Golden Dawn with all the Royals, dealing with Royals every day. Yuno was that commoner dealing with the Royals every day, proving himself, facing discrimination every day, and he proved himself every day that I am just as good as y'all. And then it just turns out at the end of the story, oh, I was one of y'all the whole time. That to me is just kind of like, it kind of takes away some of the impact. Like, yes, he proved himself beforehand, and so they had to view him as a commoner, but the fact that he was never a commoner, that, like, what does that say for like the rest of Radell? What does that say for the rest of the characters?
Radell, because this is what the nobles are going to say in that world. Radell, this is what the nobles are going to say in that world. Oh my God, Yuno did all these things in the beginning, like this commoner. Maybe we do change, and eventually it's come out, and then somebody's gonna be like, "Of course, he was a
prince." Oh, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. He was a prince.
That's not what happened. One,
no. Obviously, they didn't say it in the story, Radell. But that's what the Royals are gonna say.
You're making up dialogue. Random. You're making up dialogue. Let's be very clear.
You don't have to make up dialogue to know that's how the world would react.
Let's be very clear. Yuno and his impact was already found. Yuno, as a person who was already seen as a nobody, would save the entire Clover Kingdom and was helping people all across the Clover Kingdom. Everybody figured out who Yuno was. Yuno was the #1 rookie in the Golden Dawn, the greatest squad in the Clover Kingdom. Yuno
I agree with you.
Chosen to be vice captain from Langris, who is a known noble and someone that was expected to be one of the greatest people. Yuno beat Rill, a captain in the Black Clover Kingdom. He did this all. Everybody thinking that he is
Rill beat himself.
But the fact that it's not the case, doesn't that put an asterisk?
Let's
on it.
Let's add more context. When the Royals, when people found out that he is from the Spade Kingdom, they didn't like that. They said, "What are you still doing here?" They didn't want him to be here.
Okay, that doesn't
take away the fact that he is a
that doesn't negate the point that we're saying, Radell.
He's literal royalty.
Radell, this is what they're going to say. Of course, he did all these things because he's the prince.
He already
of the
made his impact.
Kingdom.
Their minds were already
and they're gonna qualify it. Of course, he did all those things. Okay, let me give you an example. Okay, when an athlete does
I was actually about to say
something
about athlete.
When an athlete does something incredible, like Adrian Peterson, when in 2015, when he literally carries his squad to the playoffs. Okay, if we came out at the end of the season, after the season's over in the offseason, that he was on steroids, what are people going to say about that season? Of course he did it. He was on steroids. Of course, did all those things. He's a prince of a kingdom. That's what I'm saying.
He's not a commoner. He's not a commoner. What's better, a commoner blessed by mana or a prince blessed by mana? A prince blessed by mana is way less impactful than a commoner. It just is.
I'm
No,
running out of
the-
hats,
the-
Radell.
this
Don't
is-
make me
no,
find more
you-
hats. I'm
Y'all
running out
are
of hats.
making up a scenario. It's actually crazy.
Not making up a scenario. That's the fact.
You're making up
They're
a
giving like
scenario.
analysis though. They're not
Yeah,
trying
like,
to
because they're like,
Just
no.
they're not
because they
saying the
didn't write it
commoners
in
are
the
actually
story does
saying
not
that.
mean
I'm not
it's
saying that, but I'm
what
saying,
it's
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, just looking at it objectively, is it more impactful to a story that, oh, a commoner of all people was blessed by mana, or, oh, a prince of a kingdom was blessed by mana? Because that is expected. That is expected.
So the problem here is that y'all are saying his impact is gone, but
I'm not saying it's gone. I'm not saying it's
No,
gone.
no,
I'm saying
no,
there's an
no, no,
asterisk.
diminished.
gone.
It's
It's
diminished.
And now there's a
diminished.
huge asterisk to it.
but everything he's done still stands. So
Yeah, it
how
still
is it-
stands.
But
Doesn't mean that there's
but,
not.
but it was
It's
with
like
the
a bubble. It's a bubble ring. It's the
It was with
bubble ring.
preconceived notion that this was a commoner blessed by magic making all of these things happening. That's where a lot of the impact comes from. When you find out that he is a royal and him being blessed by magic now makes sense, it diminishes what he's done, although he's done it.
Adrian Peterson still, mind you, in my
But the
hypothetical
purpose
scenario,
of what
Adrian
he is
Peterson still
doing
ran
is
for
changing the perception of commoners
Man.
of the people from the Forsaken realm.
The minute
He
they
can't
put
change
the
that
royal, they
perception
Because
don't
because
care.
wait. Ty stepped away because I basically what I basically said is like it's different because the way the society viewed him, like, yo, he was like a commoner in the Golden Dawn. He faced discrimination every day. He grinded and proved himself every day. And then at the end of the fact, they realized, oh wait, you're a prince. Like he wasn't a commoner blessed by mana. He was a prince blessed by mana. That takes he accomplished everything, but it's still like it's like an asterisk.
And
It's like an
Ty,
asterisk to his.
I use this analogy. Okay, Adrian Peterson in 2015 runs for 2,000 yards, literally carries his team to the playoffs. If in the offseason we found out that he did steroids, we'd be like, of course he did it because he was on steroids.
But I'm not even going that far. I'm not saying that like what
That's a
Yuno
terrible
did wasn't
analogy.
impactful. No, I'm not. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that what he doesn't do is
Let
impactful.
me finish.
So this is
Hold on,
no,
Radell,
that's
let me
a
finish.
terrible
This is what I'm
analogy.
saying.
So the reason
We're still not saying that he didn't run for those 2,000 yards. We're still not saying it wasn't amazing, but he clearly had an upper hand that
No,
we
he
didn't
didn't.
know about.
Okay, so okay.
Let Miles go. Wait, Miles hasn't really got to say. Go ahead,
I
Miles.
was just gonna give a little bit of a better.
Y'all are just you're capping about Yuno right now because
Capping, he's a literal prince. He's a literal prince.
But that's fine. I know he's a prince. But the part about Yuno is the way y'all are seeing is y'all are focusing on something that is irrelevant to this conversation.
No, him being
when
a
they are
commoner is
looking at
important.
Yuno and who he is, when they are looking at this guy who is from the Forsaken realm, when they are treating him as nothing, when they are seeing him do everything,
They better change up now.
and then they learn they don't change up.
definitely
What's the
going
problem?
to.
There is no change up in the Black Clover universe to validate anything you're saying. That's the problem here. So when they all of this happens and they find out he's a prince, y'all perception is it takes away, but in another sense, you can literally say that, oh, he was treated this way. Oh, he went through what he did. Oh, yes, he was a prince, but oh, he's no different from any of us.
Because he's a prince. Go ahead, Miles. Go ahead,
Everything
Miles.
he's been through,
It's okay. I want to.
no different from any of us. When we compare this to Noelle's situation, who is a role and got treated horribly. So luckily, she had Asa there in the Black Bulls. But if she was put in the similar situation, she was treated horribly, she would not succeed.
No, she was treated horribly by her family. Most people were still glazing. What are we talking about? Her family treated her like shit.
The problem is,
She
Radell,
couldn't control her magic because how she was treated.
to your point, though, you're prescribing good, like what we say would be more in line with what the Royals have shown and what they've done thus far. You're kind of prescribing good attributes to kind of say they could say this, but we already know it's not in their nature to do something like that. You know what I'm saying?
They're not.
Our scenario is more likely to happen than your scenario.
Wait,
not going to look at the positives.
But I'm just talking about what actually happened in Black Clover.
I understand what you're saying, but the explanation you just gave is that they would reflect on, oh, we treated him bad. Oh, he had this upbringing. Oh, he did all of these things. When these Royals have shown they're not the type to self-reflect or have these type of goodwill, good attributes to look at the situation in that manner. They would more than likely say, oh, this person that we thought was a commoner, a peasant all along, who was blowing us out of our socks with his amazing power, he's one of us. It does diminish what he's done because the whole crux of it is he's this powerful and he's nothing. That's where a lot of his character comes from.
But
Like he
not
came
powerful.
from nothing, but why is he so powerful? Why is he blessed by? Why is
He's
this?
not supposed to
Why
be
is this
this
commoner
strong.
blessed by mana? Why does he have the wind
that
spirit?
has
He's
nothing
just
to
a
do with his
commoner,
fate.
and then it turns out the
none of
end.
it-
Oh, it's because he's a prince.
No. That's all false, by the way. Everything
How is
that
it?
he-
No, how are they supposed to know that,
You're
Radell? God
talking
damn it!
about it.
Here's another
Everything that
fucking
Yuno
hat for
is
you.
is
God damn it!
technically-
You're just capping right now.
No, I'm not.
I'm
Y'all
running
are
out of
just-
hats.
Y'all are just hating on Yuno for no reason.
I'm not hating on
Everything-
you.
I like
everything that you said in terms of what Yuno is not from the spade stuff. None of his spade powers played into what he was doing in the Clover Kingdom. We
What does
realize
spade
that,
have to
right?
do with
What
anything?
else
His spade
qualify it
powers.
as?
That was
He got the
all-
4-leaf clover because he's a royal.
No, he has a 4-leaf clover because of the elf inside of him. That's why. It's
But
all.
they're
it's
not.
all
So
that.
he's
they're
getting
gonna
even more
qualify
handouts.
because
He's a
he's
royal,
also
blessed by the
royal.
elves.
He's always been a royal.
Hey, if you
Radell.
want to say
Like-
if you want to say the elf being reincarnated into him and all that stuff, that's fine. That's a different conversation. But that has nothing to do with the royals because the royals will have no idea what
Random,
anything
you're
has to
really
do
close
with
to the mic.
that has no play against their perception of him because they hated elves. So that has nothing to do with your conversation.
Do you know what this
The
is
problem
also
with your-
like?
the problem with what you guys are saying regarding the
I'm running out. I got a lot of
situation
patience hats for some reason.
is that-
there you go. There you go, Lonnie. Here's another
there's
hat.
nothing to there's nothing to prove what you guys are saying regarding them treating him differently because they found out he's a prince.
Okay, Radell.
Random. Do you know what this is like? This is like
has not
this is
happened
like the Creed movies where like they're like, oh, why is he such a good fighter? Oh, because his dad. Oh, then they find out, oh, his dad's Apollo Creed. That's why you're such a good fighter because it's in your blood. Like it's one of those situations.
But you don't.
Radell,
Do you take
what do
someone
we
away
know? Okay.
based off their lineage? Like
Radell,
No, but it's like
Radell,
it's something. It's
Radell.
context.
Radell, what do we know about the Black Clover universe? Royals have more mana.
Ty, I
than
think your mic is
commoners.
close to your mouth for
Okay,
No,
for the first time in history,
You're good.
Yuno was this person that was blessed by mana because we thought that he was a commoner. And then guess what? He was never a commoner. He was a royal. People could argue the only reason he did all that is because he was a prince of another kingdom.
well, that's not true. It has
Yes,
nothing to do with
they
the
literally
music.
can because
It's
it's
not.
true.
They can't though because it's not true.
What are you talking about? It's not true. We literally met his mother when he hugged him and said, "You belong."
He didn't
part of the
activate
Spade
his
Kingdom."
Spade Kingdom powers till he arrived in the Spade
They
Kingdom.
don't
So-
matter. He was.
It doesn't
always
make
the
him not a royal. That doesn't make him
Royal
born
has
with
Your
different
argument
kingdom.
is played into the royal path. None of that has to do with what he did in the Clover. Kingdom.
royals. Are always saying, "Hey, we're born with more mana. We're born more stronger. We're born all powerful." And then comes a commoner, born more powerful, born stronger than most, just as good as them, if not better. They're like, "Yo, why is this?" They're like, "Why is this commoner as strong as us? This should not be the
thing they
case."
say. That's the first thing they say in the.
They're like,
in
"Why
the-
is this commoner as strong as us? This should not be a thing." And
Literally
then he
the first thing
proves
they say.
that he proves himself to them over and over again. They're like, "Hey, maybe this commoner is all right. He's with us." And then it turns out, "Oh, you were never a commoner in the first place."
You
That's
were
like
right.
that's like Gordon Ramsay going into like a freaking Outback and just chefing it up. They're like, "Yo, how's he so good?" And then it turns out, oh, it was Gordon Ramsay the whole time. That's why he's making
You
like
know,
8
you know,
steaks at the
People like,
same
"This
time.
Outback
If
is
your
hitting."
argument,
This
if your
Outback is hitting.
argument
What they
is
doing
that
over
the
there?
Royals will change their perception based off who they found out who Yuno is. If that's your argument, that doesn't make sense because
And then they found out, oh, that's a fraud. That's not really a commoner. That's one of us. What were we thinking?
He's not a royal of the Clover Kingdom. He's a royal.
This is
He's
white
still a
chicks.
royal.
This is like white
That's the
chicks.
problem. He's
They're
still a
not going to
royal.
change their minds about Yuno. They're
He's
not
still a
going to. They're
royal.
not
He's
going to
just a
like
royal of
Yuno
another
after learning about
kingdom.
him being the
Oh
prince
my
of the
god,
enemy.
bro!
The
Enough
royal-
with that
if
hat.
you guys keep on saying the royals are
Enough with that hat
they
thing.
are
I don't
full of
understand how
themselves.
you don't get
I
this.
agree with that. There's no reason why they would accept that a
We never
Spade
said they'd
Kingdom
accept
prince
him,
is
but they
in
would
their
qualify
kingdom.
his success.
So all of what y'all are saying,
They would
doesn't make
qualify
sense.
his success.
What you're saying doesn't
They
make
can't.
sense.
How
You're
They
just,
would qualify
their
his success. They'd put an asterisk right next to it saying the only reason he did this is because he still
Well,
he may
I
not
have-
be a Clover.
Radell, do you need my
but he's
glasses,
still a
Radell? Do you
royal.
need my glasses?
I have a question.
still a
Are
royal.
y'all saying that? Are y'all saying
I can't
that?
help you.
Are y'all saying that Yuno's Magic Knight career is Mickey?
Yes, it kind of is. You could argue it that way. You could argue it that way because you know that we know that he was a royal the whole time. Mind you, this is where
What?
at least Lonnie, this is where I think
How you
Lonnie
gonna
was
argue
saying.
someone the Magic Knight career is Mickey?
I cut out
with
again.
The Magic Knight Royals. What are we talking
Oh,
about?
This is the problem, okay? Everybody in that world knows that royals have more
Dang,
mana. Yuno pulls up, he's this commoner, he's been blessed, he's doing all these amazing things, and even commoners are like, Yes,
And they say things like, "Why does this commoner have more magic than I do? Why does he have more mana than me? I'm a royal."
And then they're
This
like,
doesn't make sense.
Even commoners are like, we can rally about this person because he's literally changing the stereotype. And then guess what?
He's one of us.
And guess what? He's still a royal of another kingdom, but he's still a royal. If you're black, but you're Japanese, you're still black. I don't get this.
What? No, you
Okay. I don't get how you don't understand this.
Because your argument makes no sense. Now you're moving.
Guess what? Guess what? Lonnie's black, but he's American.
No.
Black and
Your
I'm Kenyan.
argument
Guess what?
doesn't make
We're
sense.
still
One,
black.
again, I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say this again, and I'm just done with the conversation. The stuff about him and what he does in the Clover Kingdom in terms of
Let Ty go after this because Ty hasn't really said anything but just comments.
his abilities, his mana amount, and all that stuff. That has nothing to do with anything regarding the Spade Kingdom. That has everything to do with the fact that he is connected to a reincarnated elf. Everything to do with that. So that power being blessed by that elf being blessed that way, that is a different conversation. The worlds would never accept that because they're racist against elves, and that you can't prove that he's a world through his elf connection. So that's irrelevant. Second part. No, that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. No, your argument.
Why was that irrelevant?
You're moving your argument. You're moving your argument because your argument.
It's the
your
same
argument
argument. It's been the
Are we
same
saying he
argument
wasn't
the whole
born
time.
with more mana because he was royal? Are you saying that him being royal didn't give him more mana?
You keep on saying. That you guys are moving all over the place. Have a consistent argument. You keep on saying that the reason why this his impact fell off is because the royals can put an asterisk on him for being, or the royals of the Clover Kingdom, even though this hasn't happened, but the royals of the Clover Kingdom can put an asterisk because he's a royal. The problem with that situation is, one, everything he has done in the Clover Kingdom has nothing to do with his royalty. Nothing to do with his royalty.
You're right.
And even
But
if they were looking at
he's still a royal. They won't care about it. He's still a royal. That's what the nobles are gonna say.
If they find out he's a royal from another
royal.
kingdom, they're going to not They're not going to put an asterisk. They're going to get him out of their kingdom.
He's still a
That's
royal.
why what you're saying doesn't make sense. They're not going to qualify Yuno. They're going to look at Yuno and go like, "Oh, this guy does not belong. He's an enemy of the nation."
Ty, before you go, I actually have a question.
I
So
have a quick question. It's related to this topic.
Go for it.
Radell, do you think that because Yuno was always very blessed when they was at the little church, right? Like they was like, oh, like Yuno can do things, Asa can, yada yada yada. Do you think that any of his talents have anything to do with him being royal? Like anything? Do you think any of his talents have anything to do with him being royal?
Everything he does in the Clover Kingdom has nothing to do with him being
no. Like the amount of power he has, you think that has anything to do with his royalty? Like he has more. So his mana pool is not connected to royalty at all. You don't think
it's not connected to him being his bloodline or anything like that?
Royals are born with more mana than commoners. We know that.
He's the exception. He's the
one guy.
I'm asking a very specific question. Does his mana pool have anything to do with his royal blood?
His mana amount, it has a part to do with it. It's a combination of him being part of the Spade Kingdom, but also being connected to the elf.
Okay. So a portion of his mana pool has something to do with being royal. So when they're saying, because all that he's doing is connect to his mana pool, like the missions he's completing, the amount of power he has, that's connected to your mana. So what they're saying is, if a piece of his achievements are connected to his mana because he's a royal, that's what they're saying, is that it should be viewed differently. Because now I get it. Him being a royal, Spade Kingdom will not be like, oh, well, you're a Spade Kingdom you're royal over there, so we're gonna respect you. But where they're saying the specific, the power that he has is because he's a royal.
But okay, so when you frame it like that, the thing is that what Yuno was doing, it wasn't like any other royal at the same time. We recognize that Yuno was far stronger than every royal at his age. We recognize that. Like there was a gap between Yuno at his age and any royal that ever existed. We realize that, right?
He was a prince. Was there a prince of the Black Clover that we saw to compare? Did we see
way stronger? He's way stronger than every person that has been his age. He is a prodigy among prodigies.
But do you think that him being such
there's other royals?
But they're not.
Do you think that him being such a prodigy has his mono because his royal blood, like him just like that.
No, because there's other royals.
No,
Leopold is Leopold the royal?
hold on
Is
a second.
Leopold the royal?
Hold on a second. Just because you're more powerful than other royals does not mean that your gap between them has nothing to do with your royal blood. That's not what that means. Like we can both have the same blood of like, for example, that's like me saying, if we compare the Uchihas, there are some Uchihas that are all gifted. Like the Uchiha clan is viewed as a gifted clan, but there are tiers in that bitch though. Like there are still like you can all be gifted in royal blood, but there can still be gaps between you and the other. Like for example, Madara and then a random Uchiha. Yes, they're both all part of like this excellent clan, but there's still tiers. So I'm asking you, in this obviously follow the analogy I make. He's in the moderate tier of the rules of his in the Black Clover world because he's
Right.
so far above these gifted people.
So the reason why that's incorrect is because we've seen individuals with a large monopole be fodder. Noel in the beginning, King August in the king of the Clover Kingdom. So large monopoles does not automatically equate. And Yuno's monopole is not larger than Noel's. So large monopoles doesn't automatically equate that you're going to be strong. The reason why
I didn't say that.
Okay. If you didn't say that, let me make sure picture is very clear. The reason why Yuno is who he is I already admitted it's in part. You could put a portion the fact that he is royal, but due to his efforts and his application of his abilities. Because one of the biggest issues that we've seen with royals is their unwillingness to apply themselves to become stronger. Yuno and how he grew up, his situation, training every day and comparing himself to a rival made Yuno a very special individual, also doing part to certain connections, of course. I'm not going to deny that. That made him vastly different than any royal that has ever existed. So not only is he far stronger than anybody that is in terms of magic, because Asa is also very strong, but that's anti-magic. But he's stronger than anybody that was his age, anybody close to his age. He's the best prodigy by far since Rill, and there's a gap now between Rill and Yuno. The fact that he did that, they interpret him or thought he was a commoner at first. He did everything. He was treated how he was. He changed everybody's mind. He changed the Golden Dawn. Everybody in the Golden Dawn changed their perception from finding out who Yuno is. So many people changed their perception, finding out who Yuno is. And then finding out what they found out after still doesn't change the fact, and I'm not going to bring the Prince stuff in, still doesn't change the fact that who he was, even for a royal, was drastically more powerful and drastically different from any royal that has ever existed. And he's not even from the Clover Kingdom.
So I agree with that. So my whole thing is that him having royal blood gives him an advantage. Like, yes, he had to work hard. It's like LeBron, right? LeBron is not LeBron unless he practice. Now, is LeBron just naturally more gifted than 99% of the world? Yes. Now, does he need to work hard to get where he's at? Absolutely. But not everyone's born 6'9", 250 pounds, and they could jump over the damn basket. Like that's just not everybody.
Oh, and definitely started at advantage. I agree.
Well, if you want to switch it to anime, Ty, think about Naruto. Naruto, we see him from the beginning. He has to grind for every little thing, and then we find out later on. Oh, your dad was the 4th Hokage, one of the strongest ninjas to ever live. Your mom was in the Uzumaki clan, who are known for having enormous chakra pools.
Does that change Naruto's impact, though?
But it gives context to how he was able to accomplish
something. But does that change his impact?
Actually,
we're not talking about his impact.
Actually, don't put Naruto in the Yuno tier because this Hagoromo said that Naruto didn't get anything from his dad. He got a lot of chakra from his mother. I think that's probably.
I can think of it like this.
Like to the Yuno stuff then.
But here's the thing though. I think that Naruto having a large amount of chakra is a massive advantage. It is like it just.
Oh, I agree, but I'm just talking about the impact. They said that Yuno's impact is diminished. Then you have to make the same.
I said an asterisk. It gives context.
Impact is diminished because of where he started.
Let me
have to make the same argument.
But Naruto didn't start stronger than everyone from the jump.
Not only that,
Yuno didn't start stronger than everybody.
He was stronger than most.
Hold on a second.
He wasn't stronger than any royal.
Guys,
he could have beat Noel in the beginning.
I think that the reason why that's not a good 1-to-1 is that we're talking about the context of Yuno proving that commerce can specifically do something. Naruto. So like when they're saying about impact, they're saying can this commoner who started where other commoners allegedly started at, which he didn't, can they overcome and achieve what the royals have achieved? They're saying because he did not start where commoners did, that automatically lessens the impact. Does he still have major impact? I think he does. But if
I
the
agree, he
argument,
does.
if the argument is this commoner has done something we've never seen before, and he's grinded his way up, but it turns out he's not a commoner, that inherently diminishes his impact, even though you can still argue, well, his values is what it changed him. I think is what pushed him forward. I think the story is trying to say people who have the values, like this, is what Julia said. You should judge based off your merit, like what you actually do. So yes, what you know actually did is important, but the problem is that he just did not start where everyone else started to prove the point that comics could do it. That's the point. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, my thing is I just don't agree to the aspect that his impact diminished because his impact was already felt.
We're not
And
saying like a
also-
major amount either.
Also, I would say that even if you want to make a argument that the perception of automatically changed after they found out his identity, which also is very shaky because the royals would never accept someone else in their kingdom. But I'll give you that. I'll give you that for now.
We're not Radell. We're not
No,
saying that
too
the
late. I
royals
already
would
gave you that.
accept them.
I already gave you that. So with
Yeah.
that said, even if I were to grant you that, the reason why I can't be with you is you can look at the fact that this person and who he is and his relationships that he created and the way he goes about his situations and the connections that he made, the amount of people that vouched for him, the fact that he did what he did, that Ty was referencing, met who he met, and treat people how he treats them, even finding out the title that he is, still shows the impact that he's leaving on the Clover Kingdom. So, and it's one thing, I also want to make something very clear. It would be one thing if it was just Yuno, but it's Yuno and Asta collectively doing what they're doing in terms of changing the society on its head. And everything that Asta does is in part to Yuno, and everything Yuno's does is in part to Asta.
Once they find out his
their
royal-
No,
relationship-
Random, we're just gonna keep on going in circles. Can we get to the Aki aspect of the conversation?
Once
Go
they
ahead,
find out
Ty.
his royal,
Go.
his impact is clearly lessened. I don't understand how you don't get that.
No,
just don't.
you're just
It could be like a 90 and it go down to an 85. It can
I
happen.
don't understand how you don't
I
get
guess I
that.
just
Like,
went on a point where that doesn't make sense.
You
but
would treat Steph Curry different if you realized he had some kind of advantage, which makes him a great shooter that was illegal or that was different.
You
would
wouldn't
just
treat his
treat him-
impact differently. You would still say he changed the game. That's the problem. You random. Your argument's
No,
close. Like, you
that's
would
not what I'm
change his
saying.
impact.
That's not what I'm
Well,
saying.
I guess here's a better real life example, right? Let's say for today's conversation, I am let's say I'm an undersized basketball player for most of my life, right? I'm undersized to the 10th grade, and I'm gonna say, you know what? Sure, basketball players at 5'10" can make the NBA in today's NBA and do boom boom boom, right? And then I get to my senior year, and I just grew up to like 6'9" out of nowhere. I'm like, damn, okay. Then I find out, actually I'm LeBron's long lost son. I'm like, well, damn, like that's kind of crazy. Now, did I have to work hard? Yes, but am I fully proving that point? Maybe not. Maybe not. There's because I'm just not like the rest of these niggas that I said I was gonna be like. I'm just different than y'all. We have the same values, but genetically I'm different.
No, I agree that I've already adhered to the fact that
no,
you
yeah,
had
I-
a head
no,
start.
no, I feel
The
you, I feel
problem
you.
is the actions that you were talking about, Ty, what he's done. If he did something where he changed the perception on that type of basketball player in whatever school he is, inspiring kids thinking that I can do it too, based off the fact that you were at this height before you took that huge growth spurt and all that stuff. And then I found out LeBron, like his impact is there, regardless, like of if they find out he's connected to LeBron. They're like, man,
I
this is
agree.
crazy. I just got to train. The impact is still there. It does not disappear. That is my
I'm thinking of it like this, Ty. This is how I think of it. Think of like say like just imaginary story. A king's like, hey, we're gonna have this tournament for all the regular people. Whoever's doing that, whoever wins this is gonna be like next in line for the throne. And then like this commoner, he goes, he's been like poverty, like homeless, low key. He grinds the whole tournament, he wins, and then it turns out, oh, you're the king's bastard son. So it's like, oh, so I'm not. It's not just a regular person. Say the king comes from like a fantastic line or something like that. Like, oh, so it's not like So yeah, like we get to see through the whole journey, but it turns out, oh, you were up in the upper echelon the whole time. So the people looking up like, oh, I want to be like the guy that I saw in the street all the time grinding. I want to be like him. It turns out he had a head start the whole time. Yes, the story and the impact is still there, but then it turns out at the end of the fact, oh, he's actually the king's son. It takes away from the impact. It does. Because it turns out like, oh, why does he have this special power? Why can he do this? Why can he do that? He's just a commoner. But he's the commoner show. But it turns out he was never a commoner in the first place.
If Patrick Mahomes at the end of his career is the GOAT, but then we learn for all his life for his entire his entire career he was doing steroids. The impact we're still not
being trained by Tom Brady.
Yeah,
on the weekend.
By Tom Brady. We're still not gonna diminish Patrick Mahomes' impact, but we're gonna look at it differently, and his impact will be lessened because he was doing steroids and trained by the guy who was the GOAT before him. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mentioned the whole time. I don't agree. You just don't like it.
My question with Naruto, you're just wrong. I can't help you. But my question
we're all saying one thing and he's saying the other, but we're wrong.
The other thing, he just
I mean, you all came in hating Yuno, so it is what it is.
I like Yuno.
No, we just see what Yuno is. You just don't see it. Yuno was always a royal, so he always had an advantage. Okay, he still does everything he does. Great impact. People still like, oh my god, and then he comes out.
But that commoner tag gets ripped off.
Hey, Lonnie,
on his accomplishment.
Is Ichigo's impact dwindled in Bleach? After we found out that he's like every species in Bleach?
I'm sorry, is he trying to prove that like a commoner, that a regular human can be just as strong as a soul? Is that his purpose?
No, but what we know is that a lot of the things that he does has an advantage based on the fact that he
has an advantage.
More powerful than everybody else.
But they're talking about like what the characters. So like being, if they they're.
I'll say this, Ty. If Ichigo's story was, I'm just a regular human trying to make it in the Soul Society, and then it turns out, oh, I'm also part Quincy, Soul Reaper royalty, this and that, then yes, it takes away. If he was just a regular human to start out, just trying to prove himself, if that was his story.
What about Naruto then?
I said Naruto already.
So you think Naruto's impact is taking away the fact?
No, because Naruto's story is about not giving up. It wasn't about if you had advantages. Then no, Naruto's story is about specifically I won't give up on my dreams. Anyone can do that.
When I'm talking about Naruto's impact, because Naruto made a huge impact.
I know,
but they have different roles in the story. Yuto has a different role in the story.
Village, people saw this kid who was bullied and ridiculed for all his entire life save the village constantly, time and time again. Their perceptions of Naruto, especially after he saved them from pain,
like twice,
changed completely. So everything that he did, every action that he did, knowing in part that a lot of it was kind of like given to an extent to him before birth. Are we taking away the fact that Naruto did everything he did in changing ninja society?
Bro. You're acting like Yuno's the main character.
No, it's not. That's not what he's doing.
That's not what he's changing the argument.
That's not. They're doing different things. But let me cook on Aki, man, because this is.
Go ahead, Ty. Go ahead, Ty. You got the floor, Ty.
I don't even need this much. I don't even need that much time, bro, because it's
Because I don't know why this is a conversation.
Radell, I'm gonna use your criteria. You said entertainment, development, and role in the story. I'm gonna use your criteria. So first of all, entertainment. You said that you can't really judge entertainment. I think to a degree you can, because something the authors do, I think, which you see a lot, is that they typically put contrasting personalities together to see them bounce off each other, because that typically leads to more interesting interactions. Naruto, Sasuke, Goku, Vegeta, Bakugo, Deku. Contrasting personalities typically breed interesting interactions. Now you have Aki that is constantly paired with Denji and Power, and that really, those type of interactions, because they happen so consistently, is why I think their interactions become more entertaining. Now that would be Asta and Yuno. The problem is that we don't see enough of Yuno to get that contrast consistently to provide the entertainment. Like even with characters like Naruto and Sasuke, we see them interact a lot in part 1, and in part 2, even if they're not direct interacting with each other, we still see both sides consistently, which we can still see the contrast. The problem with the characters like a Yuno, which Aki doesn't have the problem, is that we don't get his side enough. We get a lot of Aki, and we get to see him bounce off those characters so consistently, which to me provides a lot of entertainment. So I think entertainment factor, he easily takes that. Development. Aki's whole goal was about getting revenge for his family and sacrificing everything to do so. That was his life. Like, and a big theme in Chainsaw Man is sacrificing your innocence and taking chances. They pretty much explain with the whole country mouse or city mouse thing, where a town mouse essentially is someone who takes chances regardless. And if you take chances, you can probably seek a good reward. But we know Aki's story. The irony of it is that him taking all those chances is why he wasn't able to live a satisfying life, because that's a tragic story. His development from being someone who despised devils to putting his life on the line for people like Angel, and we actually get to see that slow progression constantly, I think is compelling. Because I think that what actually makes development good is we see is if it's not linear. I think that what a character like Azuko, for example, the reason he's so well received because we see the ups and downs. We see the push and pull so consistently, because a lot of times change is difficult. Make when you try to make a change in your life, typically you're gonna have ups and downs. And seeing that, I feel like the payoff of it is more satisfying. I think when we see Aki constantly being told by characters like a Yuno, for example, that he needs to give him more advantage. We see the push and pull consistently. Him debating, should he risk his life for Denji? Should he risk his life for Angel? Or should he be more determined to give his revenge? These type of things, I think, make his ultimate change at the end just more satisfying, because you can see the constant push and pull. I think with a character like Yuno, we get his story, his development happens then, and then we keep moving forward. To me, at least a lot of a lot of his character moments. But I think what makes Aki's more impressive is that we actually see a lot of the push and pull, and when he actually get the final payoff of it, it's more satisfying. So I think development, he easily takes development. And you said role in the story. His role in the story is essentially to provide us with how the path that Denji could potentially go down, right? If they essentially live the life as a devil hunter. Like when they first meet, they have a conversation in that alleyway. Essentially, Aki informing Denji, like, this is the life that you're gonna live if you become a devil hunter. We're Denji Aki is essentially the absolute extreme of the life. That's pretty much what he represents, and I think he ties really well to the theme of your innocence being taken away in the story. We see that a lot, obviously, with Denji with Makima, for example, which is crazy. We see that with him and Himeno, for example. And I think that when you represent something in story, all characters can represent something, but I think what's most important about that is how it changes the way you interact with other people. Again, something that I think for example, it doesn't have as many because he's not in the damn story enough. But I can go to things, for example, your innocent being taken story, him being a devil hunter at a young age, when I say take away innocence, I also mean like sacrificing your youthful years. He literally does that by sacrificing his life to get devil contracts. So we see that how him become a devil hunter at a young age, him literally, like, not even figuratively, but literally sacrificing his youth, him smoking at a young age. Like, I think Chainsaw Man does such a good job of showing how you being dedicated to this path can really rob you of your innocence, where that impact your lifespan, your career, who you interact with, bad habits like drugs, all that shit. Like, we literally see how that impacts all of Aki's interactions. I actually really love that, bro. And then I think that I think what really tips the cap to me, which I'm not even sure I can question, Aki's conclusion, bro, is so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking, but what I love about it is I love the subtlety in it, at least a lot of it, right? When Aki takes that, when we see Aki taking that trip to his family grave, and what I loved about that interaction we had with Denji is that he was basically so busy with taking care of Denji in power, and he's talking to Denji. He's like, for the first time, I didn't really think about my family the whole time. Like, I was here. And then Denji's like, why is that? So I don't know. I guess I was just too bothered with you two. Like, we actually get to see these characters interact with each other, and we see the visible change they have. So when he actually is willing to sacrifice everything for power, and he said, Makima, I will give you power. I will sacrifice anything for these two people. Something he would have never done at the end of the story. He would have never sacrificed his life for power. She's a devil. He don't like devils. He literally was willing to do that for Aki, for Denji, for power, for Angel, and then him having to give all the way for them, to me, is amazing development. And what I love most about his inclusion, even though it's tragic, he was able to get peace. He was able to find peace with his brother, even though Denji was forced to kill him, which again was a tragic thing. We saw his final thoughts were him playing catch with his brother. I thought that was beautiful. That was a beautiful ending, because even though he sacrificed his innocence, he gave his life, he was able to find peace through his revenge, which concluded his development. And then we see how his death impacts characters like Denji, not in just part one, even in part two, when he's reminded of it. Like, Aki is still having an impact from the grave on characters like Denji. Like, why do y'all think that Denji is so good at taking care of Nayuta? Because he learned from Aki. We're getting to see how characters that Aki interact with change and how they grow. That is what I mean by when you represent something in story, maturity, growing into learned to grow as a young man. Like that is something that Denji learned from Aki. So honestly, I'll just say it's not even fucking close, bro. I don't even know
So
what
I will
to
say this, in terms of like the entertainment, I mean, I still stand by it's kind of subjective, but even going by what you're saying, I would say that Yuno has showcased that a lot because he has a very unique personality, obviously very stoic. Every time he interacts with people with very different mindsets, you see that contrast consistently, whether it's the first arc with Yuno and Klaus, obviously Yuno with Asta. When it comes to the capital, when it comes to Yuno being with Asta, of course, Yuno with Charmy, which is a lot of people's fan favorite kind of little ship. With Langris being a snobby royal or snobby noble versus who is and his disdain for thinking that he's about to take his role. So we see that with and Noel, obviously, when it comes down to the tournament, of course. So I think we see that plenty. I think we see that quite a bit throughout Black Clover, but to each their own, honestly, depending on what you think is entertaining. I'll give you the fact that he doesn't get shown enough in comparison to the amount of content that exists for Black Clover. So there's just a lot more Asta, and I've complained about that constantly. So I'm not even going to disagree with that point. And the development stuff, like even though I do think develops, I would give you Aki's development more in terms of the role and thing. I think we're just gonna agree to disagree in that point. I'm gonna be honest. I just like what provides for the Black Clover story and his impact for Asta more. But I will give you this: the fact that his story is finished is a very valid thing to say about Aki and his impact on the story. Whereas Black Clover is in limbo, and we have no idea how this end of story will be. I had theories on how I thought it was going to end, and then the final arc happened, and I just became more and more disappointed. So I'll give you this: if it keeps on going down the trajectory that I hope it doesn't go down, and it becomes very, very, very cliche, then that will definitely ruin a lot of Yuno's character and story, especially if Tabata doesn't know what he wants to do. And I'm guessing what they probably want to do is turn into a paladin. I'm not a big fan of that, but it seems like the most likely case is that. But we'll see how they kind of plan it out. I have some ideas. So
to be fair,
Aki's end versus current situation, I definitely give you that.
To be fair, it does seem like at certain points Tabata was like, "Oh crap, I gotta add into the story," which is like, "Oh, now I gotta give him this power up because we didn't see it." So maybe biggest weakness is Tabata himself, the writer. But I don't know how. At some point, I can't remember the YouTuber that I watched it. At some point, Chainsaw Man just has this moment while everything's in danger, where they just had these series of chapters, and Ty will tell you where you're just watching Denji, Power, and Aki live in Aki's apartment. And those may be the best moments of the entire story, where you're just watching this older brother take care of his two bratty, crazy little siblings. And it's so beautiful. It's just beautiful. Everything from his motivation to how he dies, his impact. Like, I just don't understand. And I guess this is just where we're gonna have to disagree. How you look at Aki, and then you look at and then you're like, Yuno's the way to go. I just don't get it. Ty just literally broken down to you in a way that I wish I could do it. But I'm just like, oh my god, it's not even. It clears him. He clears He just does. He just does as a character.
I'll be fair to Radell because I like whether he likes it or not. I actually do like Is he stale at times? Yes, like potato salad with raisins in it. Like he can be. No, but like there are moments and times where I do actually appreciate Yuno's character and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and like that. Yeah, there are some even in certain aspects, especially in terms of fights. Like I of course love Yuno's fights way more than I like Aki's fights. That's just that's not even a comparison. But the way Ty and Random say it, just in terms of to me, well, impact is kind of different in terms of Chainsaw Man because Aki's also competing in terms of impact with Makima and Power and stuff like that in terms of impact. So it's just it's really Asta. Is in that automatic second role because he is the rival in that type of shonen story. So in terms of level of impact, in the long run, Aki's overarching impact to me, it's more impactful, but it's not more. If that makes sense. Like the just has more quantity, but like to me, Aki's is more deep. But I also feel like Chainsaw Man is a deeper story regardless.
Yes.
Which is fair. And
I would see what Maz had to say.
So I mean, Random and Lonnie kind of both said it, and I think it's more or less of a character versus character and story versus story. I just think Chainsaw and a lot of the themes that it has are just so much more deep. It allows Aki to be a more fleshed out and deep character. Even some of the minor stuff. I think earlier in the story, Himeno mentions how like after each mission, most hunters are able to go through what they're doing without any remorse. They're able to kill. They're able to be okay with what's going on in the missions. And you just see Aki after every mission, he's like crying. He's defeated after what he's done, whether that's a kill a fiend, kill a devil, whatever. And for him to feel that way and still contract with devils to gain more power, I think stuff like that is really, really deep. And it sucks because you kind of have to hold that against Yuno. It's not his fault. That's his story. But we don't get a lot of that depth as far as like what he's doing behind the scenes, where his training is happening, how he's feeling after completing a mission, how he's felt after maybe he's failed one. I just think there's a lot of stuff that we're missing in Yuno to really put him above Aki.
I think
We've only seen him one time.
I was saying,
Yeah, go ahead.
my fault. I want to say this real quick. Not only that, and I completely agree with that. And this is what I mean by when you represent something in your story and how it impacts your interact with people. Another important theme of Chainsaw Man is finding companionship. Like that, we realize like the whole like idea of wanting to be held and wanting to be loved. That's such an important theme in Chainsaw Man, and the way that ties from Denji, Aki, and Power, I think is beautiful. Like really, Denji. Him trying to understand sexuality, he just wants companionship. Like that's why he was able to build a bond with Power. But he's like, I'm doing things with Power, but I don't feel attracted for her. That's Denji understanding a healthy platonic relationship. And we see how that translates to Aki because at the beginning of the story, Denji's like, if Aki and Power died, I probably wouldn't feel nothing. Right now, obviously, Denji doesn't really understand himself. He's immature, grew up in a damn dumpster. He don't really get these type of feelings. He doesn't really understand it.
Dad really screwed him for real.
We see how that companionship was able to drive them at basically make them create a family. It was able to drive Aki away from revenge, something we didn't think he could do. Like he was literally willing to throw his life away. He was willing to give his life away. A better way to put it. Because of the companionship he was formed. And that's an important theme of Chainsaw Man. It's not just about representing something. It's like, what does this mean? And how does it impact how you interact with other people? He built a family off of that.
Yeah, and
we get to see them interact every day. Like that. That's what I mean. Like, if he just represented like building companionship, we don't see what it means for how he talks to other people. We don't see how it impacts his day-to-day life. We don't see these things. Like, okay, you can represent something. And that's my issue with Yuno. Is like, yes, he represents certain things, and we see it sometimes. But I think with Aki, he represents things. We see how it impacts him, other characters, in their interactions, and that's why I think it's just so much better.
So
this isn't you real quick, Radell. This isn't Yuno's fault, but like we don't get to see a lot of parody of Yuno. Like, yet I feel like with Asta, like we get to see him struggle and earn things, but when it comes to Yuno's side, and this is writing. He just gets these power-ups, he just gets these buffs, and we don't get to see him like earn things. Like Deku and Bakugo, we get to see them both struggle, go up and down, up and down. I'm sorry, it's really just a straight up he's just going up and up and up. But we don't really get to see him fail. We don't get to see him really when he deals with adversity. We already know like, oh, he's gonna get some type of power up, or oh, he's just gonna overcome it because he's We don't get to see him just really struggle. If it was equal with Asta, which I said it's not Yuno's fault because it is writing. If we get to see Yuno fail more than just the one time Golden Dawn fail, we got to see him get really struggle and really not have like any place to go, and then like really have to find it, like really work on himself, really like get in the lab and work, like how we see, because that's the main thing about Asta. We're always seeing him. He's always grinding. He's always training. Every time we see Yuno, and it's not his fault. He's stronger. Every time we see Yuno, he's stronger. That's just
Radell. My thing is because we're just writing on Yuno, so I gotta say something.
No. This is I'm gonna legitimately. There have been chances that Tabata could have done. Mind you, we see Yuno fail when the Golden Dawn gets massacred, right? Mind you, we spend some time with them seeing that. We see how it affects them. That was like the first time that at least I could remember that happened. There have been moments even after Asta gets pseudo killed by Julius and he gets sent away to the land of the rising sun. there are times Tabata could be like, this is Yuno's time right here. Maybe what if we got to spend time with Yuno after that? We see him grieving. We see him realize how much maybe some things he really wanted to say to Asum just because he always thought he'd be there, but we don't get that. And that's Tabata's fault. I am not blaming Yuno the character. I'm blaming Yuno how he was written. That's what I'm blaming.
Like way back, like when he got the wind spirit and like they did the whole unison thing, and then I think like I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think she's like, "Oh, we're trying it again" or whatever. Like I would have liked to see them like try a few times like in training and fail. Like why can't I connect with this wind spirit that chose me? Like what's this mental block? Because like and then eventually he just does it. But it's just like, yo, why can't we see him train? Why can't we see him earn that unison?
So one thing that I'm gonna give to you is the lack of exposition. I already gave that to you. Like I said, I'm probably gonna agree to disagree in terms of impact. Depending on ends could really do a lot in terms of his impact. So I'll at the very least say that, because if they do it based on what I'm thinking they should do versus what I think they are going to do, can do a lot in terms of destroying Yuno's character. But we're gonna have to wait and see regarding that. But overall, when you guys are saying stuff like Yuno doesn't struggle or anything, I mean, when he fought against Mars, he straight up lost, and he lost that fight. And he did meet Bell, just like how Asa got his sword. So they both got a power up in that dungeon, but that's him failing in that situation.
The problem is we didn't see what happened after that.
We did. We saw what happened after he failed. He got Bell, and Bell. Not gonna lie, Bell just won.
After the mission, we did.
But between the end of that conflict and when he uses Bell next, we have no idea what happens. We don't. So the next time we see him, he's doing like Spirit Dive against Rill, right?
We're like, what the hell is this?
What happens? No, next what happens is the Royal Capital. So in that situation, he meets Catherine, and he straight up loses to Catherine, and that's when he got the opportunity to figure out, okay, what is Bell? How do I use Bell? And he learned that how to sense mana. So in that situation, that is his first opportunity learning what mana sensing is. And once he learned how mana sensing is, he beat Catherine.
Okay, the problem is though, even between the time he fights,
he didn't like just lose a fight. He was down in the fight, and then he just got a power up. He's like, "Oh, now I know how to mana sense," and then he wins the fight.
Because this is our problem. From the time he
the reason why he got the power up is because Catherine blinded him, so allowed him to use his other senses.
Yeah, he didn't lose the fight. That's just like you're down.
Random power up. We're just making
you lost the first few rounds in the boxing match, and then like you got. Your adrenaline starts kicking in, and then you knock them the fuck out. That's what happened.
Now you're a nitpick. We've seen so many characters that a situation happens, and then in that situation they learn something about themselves and get stronger.
That's the problem. That's not a failure. That's not a failure, Radell.
You kind of
won the fight. He won the fight. That's not a failure.
I kind of looked up that fight, and he literally just like I'm reading the exposition of the fight. As the fight continues, Yuno begins to receive damages from Catherine's spells. The attacks slowly render the former's senses obsolete, to which the latter reveals her attacks are infused with curse magic. His senses are deteriorating at a considerable pace. Yuno's attacks begin to miss their mark. The young knight finally loses all of his senses as he is engulfed in darkness. At this moment, his latent ability arises, and he begins to see the flow of mana.
Yep.
Him just awakening ability and him training and preparing to awaken ability are two different things. He's just getting a latent ability is just awakening when he's in a corner.
That sounds like some royal shit. That sounds like some royal shit to me. Latent ability
against Mars.
When he was fighting Mars, how mana sensing works.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all that he was a royal the whole time.
It's not about knowing how mana sensing works, but you could argue maybe he didn't know how it worked either, and he awakened it when his back was against the.
That is the point. That's why when all of his senses disappeared and he had to win the fight, because if he did not beat Catherine, she was going to kill people. So you had to win the fight. So he had to dig deep and figure out another way
to get a power up.
That's perfect. That's mana sensing.
But our point is, whenever his back is against the wall, he's constantly receiving power-ups. I think the only absolute L's he's taken was when the Golden Dawn fell, and then when him and Asta first fought Licked, the real Licked. That was the first time they ever really lost in totality. Any other time Yuno's been backed into a corner, Bell came. My latent ability works.
There's many always something L's do exist in Shonen? What?
You're You're kind of
He's missing
conflating
the
my
point.
point. I'm not trying to be extreme and say it has to exist. I'm saying every single L he's about to receive, he saved. You get what I'm saying?
But he saved in a way that he fails, but the failure leads into
What failed?
But there's no prior work put in to get these buffs.
Like he's losing
He
against
didn't he didn't do anything to get Bell.
He's losing against the bone guy. He's losing against the bone guy, and he gets a second book. He didn't earn the book. He just gets a second book.
He didn't work on Mana Sensory prior or anything like that.
I give you the Spade Kingdom when he finally unlocked his Spade Kingdom lineage. I give you that. A lot of that fight, though, before that was a lot of him using abilities that he trained for. So,
but we don't see him train.
I said I agree to that already. I said
that's the thing. At this point,
we know he trains. Like,
well, of course we know it, but we don't see it. Radell, at this point, as readers and viewers, Radell, at this point, as readers and viewers, we have been conditioned that every time we see Yuno, we just know that he learned something. We don't know how he did it. We don't know where what blood, sweat, and tears.
Perfect example. The latest example when he's fighting Julius. When did he unlock this what's it called? That big mana zone?
Promise Neverland.
Yeah, he just shows up fighting Julius. Promise Netherland. Everyone gets a power bomb. Where did this come from?
The final arc is cooked. The final arc.
Where did this come from? But it's a part of the Yuno thing. It's part of the Yuno thing.
It's a bad part of the entire story. The final arc is cooked. I can't defend.
We're showing what we're saying though right now. We've just been conditioned. Tabata should have taken some time. We don't need to see Asta all the time. I get it. We don't. We should have taken some time to be like, okay, let's see Yuno get used to having Bell. Let's see Yuno working with his star magic. Let's see Yuno do this. Let's see Yuno actually let's see Yuno reminisce about his time in the Golden Dawn for real. Let's spend some chapters with that. For real, and see how it truly affects him, how it made him be better. Let's see Yuno and Longers actually form this relationship instead of like, oh, we just see Yuno for a chapter and okay, Yuno did all this stuff before. Let's see Yuno actually kill those. We just get from when Andromeda says Yuno strong enough to kill those high class devils. How the fuck did he get that strong? How the fuck did he get that strong?
You know something crazy?
Well, everybody trained over the 2 years.
What's crazy is they usually use like the fillers to expand on it. That nigga not even in the fillers, bro.
Don't even get those.
Yuno gets disrespected.
He's not even in the fillers, bro.
He barely, bro.
I give you the disrespect.
He was in a filler where he got to fight the vice captain for the sea.
I swear, when I seen Yuno's face, because I kind of like Yuno, right? After Asta is like dead, I'm like, yo, Yuno about to turn up, and we go to Asta.
No, I agree with you. The crazy thing, I 100% agree with a lot of what you're saying. It's the points that you guys were saying before when you were saying that the power-ups didn't make sense and he just got it. That didn't make any. That's not.
It
true.
makes sense, but it's just a cop. It's just a cop out every time.
It feels like a cop out, bro.
He definitely trained. We know he trained. We know
he trained, but
he didn't train for a second book. He didn't train for. How did he train for a second book?
I can say all the bad stuff about Bago that I want, but I know I've seen him train. I've seen him struggle.
The second Grimoire stuff is more of like a destiny thing. It's right time, right place. That happens.
It happens a lot for Yuno. It happens a lot for Yuno than compared to other characters.
He just happens to land somewhere. Bell's there.
He just happened to unlock his latent ability. He just happened to unlock his latent ability. He just happened to get the wind spirit.
He didn't awaken a latent ability, Lonnie.
I got a point, yeah. You know something crazy?
Learned how to do mana sensing.
You know something crazy?
But what? All right, go ahead, Ty.
You know something crazy? When Yuno gets power-ups, it's because of his desperation to kill the Gundam because he knows he's running out of time. When he sees people like Himeno pass away, he understands it's a very situation. It actually means something for his character. He don't just get shit. Hey, my dog, when he gets a power-up, it actually ties into the things better. It just does. I'm sorry, it just does. Like when Himeno dies,
we're just talking shit about Tabata as a writer. That's what we're doing right now.
Well, he's still a great writer.
What?
He still is, but like the rival of the main character has been done so dirty, it's criminal.
He has though. You're just overacting a lot of these points. Not gonna lie.
All right, everyone, final thoughts on this because we have more topics.
We do.
Oh shit!
No final thoughts. Y'all are just capping.
Yeah, we're all capping. We're all capping.
Aki's. I'll say it.
Aki clears.
I'll say it. Radell. Say Aki's better. Say it. Say Aki's better.
Not until Yuno's story's finished. When Yuno's story's finished,
You just said that the final arc is cooked. What are
I
we in
agree,
right now?
but he has
The
4
final
months.
arc.
Ronnie, he has 4 months to fix this final arc.
Hold on, hold on, Ronnie.
He's got-
Hold on, talk. As it stands right now, who's the better character?
No, we gotta wait for his story to be finished. Tom.
Matter of fact, we get Aki was better than before his conclusion. Like
Yeah, well, we'll just agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying?
he was just a better character before that.
Oh my
We just
god.
agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying?
Drop a poll in PC and
alright.
watch him get cooked.
All right, so we have the MAPPA topic, and I wanted to start it off because
Well,
it
before
is-
we go into that, real quick, Gauntlet time. You know what I'm saying? It's time for the Gauntlet. It's a little bit would you rather, and I decided because I knew that people were just gonna be so nasty. Who is stronger, Yuno edition? You know what I'm saying? Hey man, this is what happens. They allowed me to just do this stuff. You know, I just picked topic. You know what I'm saying? Who is stronger, Yuno edition? We'll get everybody's opinion regarding it. Who is stronger, Yuno or Aki?
What?
Answer the
What are we
question.
doing?
What are we doing?
Answer the question.
Aki,
Go ahead, Miles.
Aki stronger.
I'm ill-equipped to answer this question.
Are we talking Aki once he fully becomes a gun devil, or are we just like Aki regularly?
I don't care what he becomes. What are you talking about?
Aki, because I said so. Now what?
Oh, see, this is the Yuno hate that I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay, we're just gonna agree to disagree.
Hey,
think
it's-
I
think it's
disagree.
Yuno.
I
I
just
actually think it's
disagree.
Yuno,
I just
but I'm trying to see if I'm wrong. But I actually
You're
think
not
it's
wrong.
Yuno.
Yuno is by far stronger than
I-
Aki.
Yeah,
Listen.
you know stronger, but like
You know what? I just
If
feel
he's stronger
differently.
than this, then
I just
Yuno.
feel
See, he's
differently,
asking
random.
Yuno. This is
Hey,
this is
yo,
why I did
W.
this.
Lonnie.
I just disagree. I just disagree.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, y'all are crazy. That's your
If
job.
Radell get cooked,
Let's just agree to disagree.
I just don't see it that way.
Yeah,
I see what y'all are doing.
If Radell get cooked, he'd be like, well, we disagree.
I just don't see it that way.
Yeah,
Nah.
I mean,
I
because
don't
I don't
comment
want
on the
to.
comments,
It's
too.
one of those situations where we're just never going to agree. So there's no point to keep on arguing the same point.
I should write these down so I can use it.
But to use that as your first point, you're cooked. You're just wrong. If you're not gonna use, if you're not gonna, have to
We're being honest. You know, stronger.
Yeah, you know it's stronger.
See,
You
these
know,
are haters. See, this is
No.
why I did this. This is why I did.
No,
this.
time
I'm
out. If
hating
he
that.
won't admit that Aki's a better character, I'm not mentioning Aki.
But I don't agree. So I mean,
I don't agree either.
yeah, but you gotta make an argument first. I made a whole argument. You made a whole argument.
I just disagree. I think Aki's stronger.
He just sees it differently,
I
Radell.
just see it differently, bro.
We do. Because I don't see Impact the same way as Ty, and I don't see the Epic Chamber the same way as Ty. So I can't.
I have a question. How do you impact? What's your like?
We already went through this whole thing.
You get into a quick definition. I also want to hear a definition. Like, what is impact? I guess.
So, like the value that they play into the story, like their value to the narrative of the story that is going on.
And you don't think?
Let it go.
Let's all right. Move on with the gauntlet.
Yeah, I stand by it. But okay, Yuno versus Bakugo.
Bakugo.
This
See,
hating.
I'm thinking about the freaking Neverland bullshit in the final arc.
Yeah, I'd have to give it to Yuno. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yuno.
It's just because
Yeah.
I think the fight would be a lot closer than anybody would admit.
I would never
Highlighting the hate.
ever on God's green earth give Yuno anything over Bakugo.
I'm just thinking about a fight.
Yeah,
I'm
just
thinking about a
fighting.
fight.
I don't care.
Who teleports faster?
What?
Bakugo.
Hater.
Oh, he
Hater.
just hating.
Hater.
Bakugo.
He's just hating. He's just hating.
Oh god.
Okay. Yuno versus Gray. Fairy Tale.
Oh, in all seriousness, I think Gray got that.
I think Gray will win.
Yeah, I was like, Gray's gonna cook.
Oh, I
Gray's
should
gonna.
answer this
We're
too.
talking about the Demon Slayer magic too. Ooh.
That's probably the closest matchup.
It's a interesting one. I mean, Yuno's teleportation is definitely very hard to deal with. Anybody who teleports instantaneously is very hard to deal with. So, I'm gonna go Yuno personally. As long as he teleports to the right situation, just cut Gray in half. I think he got it personally. Yuno versus Bond from Seven Deadly Sins.
I mean,
This one's tough. Bond is
Bond
like
can't
that.
die, so
Yeah, I'm gonna say like that's.
Yeah,
it's
I
like
like
Bond.
You can't beat Bond.
I feel like Bond's gone against stronger characters, and he's like not like beat them, but he's like tanked their attack. He's tanked stronger characters' attacks. So I would say
It'd
Bond.
be a battle of attrition. I think
Yeah, it
Bond
would be a battle of attrition.
Yeah, because like, does Yuno have enough mana to like outlast the immortality guy? Like, I don't know.
No, Lonnie.
Well, he's not immortal
He's just gonna
anymore.
get. He's just gonna get another power up. Then he's gonna like sense Bond's weakness or some shit.
You don't know how Black Clover works. Stop talking. Yuno versus.
I just
Zoro.
disagree, Radell. I just disagree.
You could be wrong though. Yuno versus Zoro.
Yuno versus Zoro.
Unfortunately, you know.
No, Yuno.
I'm gonna go Yuno.
Yeah, you know.
We all know Yuno's a strong
Zoro
ass
can't fly.
character. That's not our gripe.
Yuno is a scrub. Nobody said that at all.
He's a royal.
You know what? We did get a We need to get a
No,
One Piece.
he's not. It's not the same kingdom, so it doesn't matter.
We need to get a One Piece power skill because they be scaling Nami to light speed. To take
You know why they
Nami
do that?
is light speed. She is.
Yeah, you know why they do that? It's because of the pacifist.
She is.
light speed.
That's literally the.
Oh,
That's
Miles,
literally
Miles.
the basis of it. That's
Sorry,
literally the
Miles.
basis
I
of
have the
it.
perfect One Piece question for you because my friend,
What-
like,
everybody-
he,
if Nami's light speed, Zoro got that, bro.
No.
But he can't fly. Zoro can't fly.
so no, I've been meaning to ask Miles this for weeks because, like, one of my best friends, he's like obsessed with One Piece and he has these crazy theories.
Okay.
I keep on telling him this take is crazy.
Okay.
Do you think Sanji has like top tier future sight hockey?
He doesn't have future sight.
I haven't seen evidence of it.
Because his statement is, yo, back when like he was training with the girls and everything like that, like he can every time a girl's in danger, Sanji shows up, and it's because Sanji has future sight hockey. And I think that's the most insane take.
That's headcanon. The only way I could see you saying that Sanji would have some hyper advanced observation hockey is if you don't believe. Like, I'm of the camp. I don't think he's going to get conquerors. He would need something to compete in these upper echelon fights. It would have to be observation hockey to some degree. The whole thing about him knowing about the shorties and all of that, I can't stand behind that. I can't stand behind.
Like, he does not have selective observation hockey.
When it only comes to women, sure, but in the thick of the narrative, nah.
Okay,
yeah, kind of cooked.
he was acting like I was crazy. All right, go ahead.
Last two: Yuno versus Sasuke.
Hi, I was trolling, by the way.
Oh, give me Sasuke. What's Yuno gonna do against a Susanoo?
Hey, man, that's what she's saying. Wait, who is it?
Sasuke.
The real Sasuke versus Diet Sasuke.
Yeah, versus the Dollar Tree Sasuke. Yeah, give me Sasuke.
You like Yuno, right?
I can't believe it's not butter.
I don't like him as much as Sasuke. I love Sasuke.
I can't believe it's not butter Sasuke.
I can't believe it's not butter Sasuke.
I'm gonna go with Sasuke though. I think Sasuke probably.
Can I really quickly one thing? Tank Jones, I know the data book you're referring to. We're looking at that scene from Katakuri's point of view. Katakuri is seeing Sanji dodge a jelly bean. We're not being shown Sanji dodging the jelly bean. That's already been like super debunked on Reddit.
Damn.
Also, I'm not even getting into it.
Sanji hasn't shown any observation almost period throughout the show. So for him to go from not showing it at all to showing future sight, Oda's made mistakes. That'd be a big mistake.
He should have used it against Queen if he had future sight. Like, there's a lot of times where he struggled against Queen in that fight. So
correct.
Last person, Yuno versus Arthur. Fire Force.
I haven't seen. I haven't deep Fire Force, but I'm gonna say Arthur.
Arthur.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Arthur too.
Yeah.
I say Arthur's not fair.
Don't give him a fake horse. He'll kill motherfuckers with a fake horse.
He's strong. All right, we got our gauntlet out the way. What's the next topic?
MAPPA.
And I'll start this off. So y'all all know what time it is. So we all know MAPPA has been whipping their slaves, giving them like probably like 2 minute breaks. I'm sorry. Like we see how thirsty these JJK episodes have been. Like, I'm sorry. If you can't get sleep, food, or titties, and you get a 3 minute break, I said it, and you get a 3 minute break, and then you have to go back to work on animating, like not just MAPPA, but the whole animated community as a whole has been a problem. But I feel that MAPPA has, since they want to be as big as like Wit Studios and things like that, I'm attributing this to their CEO Manabu Atsuka, and so he's going in the death note for abuse of power, mistreatment of his employees, and possibly ruining the future season of JJK, because we don't know if they're gonna halt production. We don't know how long it's gonna be, because what they have One Punch Man next, and they're gonna have more Vinland Saga, more Chainsaw Man, then more JJK, and then including every other project that they bring in, since they want to just keep on taking every big project. So that also means more. That means Fire Punch is gonna be in the future. The rest of his short stories are gonna be in the future. So, oh, this is like one of the tipping points where it's like us as consumers, we love the product, but we also know like where it's coming from. We know it's this is like this is a anime sweatshop, and and the animators are going on Twitter trying to plead their case. Mappa's trying to make them sign NDAs, trying to silence them. And we all know if something ends up happening, because Random said, like, oh, what if someone ends up dying? The culture in Japan is company first. Like, it's better. What's better for the group? If someone gets sexually assaulted in Japan, they're the type to victim blame. They're like, you put us in a situation because you put yourself in that situation. That's inconvenience to us. If someone dies at MAPPA or is in critical condition, they're gonna say he put himself in that situation, and now this is a distraction to us. This is inconvenience to us.
Damn,
And that's how Japanese culture is, and that's wrong. So I'm putting MAPPA CEO in the death note, and then y'all can take it from there.
The craziest part is that, like he said, the CEO of MAPPA is trying to like fast track his company to being at the top. So, like he said, they've taken every big one, and mind you, we have consumed what he's taken. He's taken all the big ones. There've been people who have been glazing MAPPA, but now we are seeing the cost of that. We're seeing the cost of that, to the point that it apparently that I thought the anime did go on hiatus. I thought it did, because it's just so bad. And like Lonnie mentioned it on PC Anime, we're talking they're getting the episode done 4 hours before it's supposed to air, like hours. So I'm like, mind you, at this point we understand the Japanese culture is very private. They don't like loud people. They don't like loud tourists. They don't like loud at all. And so, and then this isn't just a Japanese animation problem. This is Japanese work culture. They see people like passing out on the subways and on just random areas of the street, like these things where there's especially, at least I can only say this for what I've seen about the men, it's a prideful thing that I'm able to work all these hours to provide for my family, but which means this also takes them away from being there with their families. And I've seen people say, what if they get a union? It wouldn't work the same. We're legitimately asking Japan to change its work culture, and we can't do that. Something has to happen over there to make them change. And and we've seen people commit suicide. We've seen these things. Like, this isn't just even a Japanese problem. Like, South Korea has massive suicides every year, especially among young people. So like, this isn't like, to be honest with you, I don't really see how this can change, short of finally
America challenges them, bro.
Yeah,
we get our own anime studio. That's how it's gonna change.
And it's just like,
Random, to go off your point, like like this stuff. Not only like does this stuff happen, it doesn't get reported either. Like Japanese culture, like when it comes to crimes and stuff like that, they don't really report their crimes like nationally. Like they're Japan's like one of the countries that says murder doesn't happen in Japan. We know murder happens everywhere, but if a murder happens and like there's no hardcore evidence, they'll say it's an accident. That's been documented so many times. Like, oh, if a murder happens, if sexual assault happens or whatever, they will not like they'll try to talk it off like as something else. Someone gets stabbed. Oh, they had an accident. They accidentally stabbed themselves. There wasn't a murder. He killed himself. Like they do that stuff all the time. And also with the Japanese culture, where's this money going? Because it's not going to these animators that are working 20 hours a week, 20 hours a day. Like it's not going to them.
It's not going to the writers either, the guys who've written the stories. And also, mind you, obviously, looking at the hard numbers, Japan is a very peaceful country. Like, legitimately, one of the biggest crimes in Japan is like, if you got a bike and you leave it unlocked, it's gone. But you can leave your wallet on the street and they'll turn it into the police. They'll turn it. And Japan, ironically, I can't remember. I would just kind of learn about it because I want to go to Japan. I travel to Japan in the near future. They say Japan has one of the biggest lost and found programs in the world. Where let's say you're in Tokyo, you leave your wallet, somebody will turn it in, and then let's just say you go to Shibuya. I don't know cities like that. Maybe Okinawa, and then they're like, oh, your wallet is over here. They logged it into a system, and do you want them to send your wallet to you, or do you want to go pick it up? And then you go pick up your wallet. They'll check. Fire. Obviously, they'll check, but all your stuff's there, and you're good. They don't. It's just like one of those things where I'm just like, it just shows you how different our two things are. It just shows you how different our two cultures are, and at least maybe if somebody from Japan was on and they could tell us maybe what some changes that they could see happening, because we were sitting like, why don't they just strike? Why don't they just walk off the job until they get legitimate working conditions? But they don't care. Do we really need to talk about what China's doing to make sure we get iPhones every year? We don't need.
Well, China is a completely different story.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like this is.
And there are some beautiful things about Japanese culture. Don't get me wrong. I love Japanese culture as a whole. Like I also feel like they have like one of the best childcare systems in the world. Like children will be left unattended for hours to go to school or whatever, and they just
old enough
and they're safe.
Barely have children.
Yeah, and they're safe. So it's like there's so many things good about Japan, but at the same time, like they hide their flaws and they don't acknowledge them at all, and they don't see them as a problem. They just see it as an inconvenience.
Yeah,
and this is a clear
what Lonnie
problem.
said about childcare. Go watch Old Enough. It's a literal reality show in Japan about toddlers, kids and toddlers running errands. There's basically this mom walks up to her like her 4-year-old kid, gives her like a key and say, hey, go to the market and get some fish. And you literally watch this kid go to the market, like leave his house, walk a few miles or something like that to like a Walmart, picks up some fish and walks back. That is fucking impossible.
You can't do that in America at all.
You cannot do that at all. And like he's waiting at the light. There's maybe somebody helps him with the light, and they just watch him walk across, and he's just walling.
Yeah, it's like expected of the Japanese community to help children. But back to the money thing. Like for instance, Ty's an artist. I don't want him signing any deal with Shonen Jump or anything like that because they are shiesty as hell.
I will fight you.
I'll literally fight you, Ty,
and I will fight you
because, like I think I said this.
Care about you,
I think I said this after the last PC anime.
Hey man,
Dragon Ball Z. The IP for Dragon Ball Z is worth $16 billion. What's the? I can't. I'm getting like a break for. Yeah, Toriyama. His net worth is like 300 million or 400 million or something like that. But his IP that he created is worth 16 billion.
No, Toriyama's worth like 30 million, 30, 40.
Yeah, so he's worth, so even less. So he's worth 30 million, but what he created is worth 16 billion dollars. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah.
He should at least be a billionaire.
Okay, I'm reading this article right now. As of November 8th, he is estimated worth $55 million.
Yeah.
Toriyama should be a billionaire. He should be a billionaire.
I mean, that's just how this stuff works. I mean, there's nothing we could do about Japanese culture and what they do. All I can say is America, you know what I'm saying? We got to build our own anime studios. We got to make these studios sweat. And then we put out some good anime, and maybe we'll stop putting out them garbage isekais. Maybe that'll happen.
Well, I will say this: MAPPA is. Would it be possible that MAPPA fails and then just Wit Studios comes up like, we know how to freaking do this. We know how to do this. Maybe I'm not saying it's a better way,
sure
but maybe it's a safer way.
I will say anime is on notice because we've seen the success of something like Arcane, and season 2 is coming out soon. And our American companies can, even though I think Blizzard isn't like an American company or whatever, or whoever owns.
It's European, right?
I forget whoever owns League of Legends.
You know, we
But
mess with our European brothers. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but no, the average anime episode is around 2 to 300,000. I think like Demon Slayer is itself is like 3 to 400,000 per episode. Arcane, they average $10 million per episode because they just got it like that. Anime can't compare to that. Just from a money standpoint, $10 million per episode.
I don't think they need.
They
to.
don't need
They
to.
don't
I'm saying
need
in
to,
terms
but
of
Arcane
in
was
terms of
beautiful.
Arcane was one of the greatest pieces of media I've ever seen. And just
Yeah.
like when you like, I watched the videos of like how they made the episodes and everything like that. Genius, and like it was just unparalleled. If more companies seeing how like well Arcane did, and anime companies were complaining, I think Wit Studios and like Studio Ghibli,
That's
even
how
like
you
they
knew.
all,
That's how you knew.
they
It was a
all were
product.
saying like, hey, don't compare us to this because we literally can't compete with this.
Also,
So
I
if
do kind of like
if more
the
companies
anime style.
if more companies say go that route and say like, hey, we can make our own content, and we said before the Shonen Jump IP is looking kind of shaky in a few years. We don't know.
If Disney all of a sudden decides, like, you know what, let's go get some of these slice of lives that are out there that Shonen
No,
Jump
keep
doesn't
Disney
want.
away from anime.
And I'm just using them
Yes.
as an example.
Apple
If Disney goes
or
out there,
whatever.
or
Don't give
even
them any
Apple, if they
ideas, bro.
decide to go in there
No
and
Disney.
they're
Facts.
willing to pay the money that MAPPA and Wit Studios are not willing to pay to get these stories to come over here, and they'll make them and try to adhere to that style, because at this point you're watching The Witcher, which is you're seeing that you don't need a story to be set in America like to be great. People watch the fuck out The Witcher. People watch the hell out of Game of Thrones. Like these things, we've seen that we can still watch. If the story's good, we don't care where it's set. We'll just watch it. So if they're able to walk in there and grab a up and coming slice of life that maybe has been turning heads and do something with it to the point where anime studios are like, oh my god, and they're getting, and it's not, and also that's not even, and think about even the American when they were coming at an American studios for overworking their workers, and I'm like, you guys are having a vacation compared to what MAPPA people are
usually
having.
what is the case when it comes to America. But overall, Disney, if they take over anime, they're gonna run the world. I'm just
Yeah.
Did they buy the rights to stream some stuff, or am I tripping?
Yeah,
'Cause I
no,
know
they have
Disney owns
the
Hulu.
Disney has the rights to like a few animes. Like they have the rights to
on
Tokyo
Disney Plus,
Revengers. Yeah, they have the rights to like Tokyo Revengers.
Did they buy the first I guess the first season of the Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War, right? They bought
I
like
think
the
they
rights to
did.
stream it on Hulu,
Yeah,
right?
so like all the Hulu originals, all the Hulu animes, like their Hulu is owned by Disney. So like there were a few really good ones. The summer residence or whatever.
And it's not just
know.
that.
Summertime rendering, is that what it's called?
Netflix has clearly shown that it's very interested in the anime space. Komi Can't Communicate, Kengan Ashura, even, which is weird. They just bought
Undead Unluck right now. Disney has.
Yeah, so
Right.
they've shown that they're willing to keep going. Blue Eye Samurai, Kakegurui, like they've shown that they're willing to spend the money to do this. Mind you, their first foray into doing it themselves with Yasuke was bad, but they've clearly learned. And Miles, don't get me started on Yasuke.
Also, Bleach. They have Bleach right now.
Don't get me started on Yasuke for real. That may be the biggest disappointment I've ever had in anime.
So we'll kind of wrap it up with this final segment, and that is obviously Fraud Watch. Who is on Fraud Watch? Who is failing the community? We already talked about it, so I'll kind of go first, and then I'm curious to hear Miles. But Lonnie kind of already said it, bro. Code is a fraud. He was built up to be this character, this big villain. People were saying after the time skip that this guy was about to be, oh man, this guy been one of the goated villains of the Boruto of Naruto, and this guy came back, got stepped on, got basically one shot to the point where he couldn't do anything. Got sent into another world. The villains there said, "You suck," and then Boruto let this guy go, and then he ran away. Code is an embarrassment to hyped up villains. I have not gonna lie. This was. I did not expect this much of a downfall after a time skip of Code saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna come kill Boruto and Kawaki and all this stuff." Bruh.
Are they? I have a question, and I don't read Barsha, so I'm asking y'all. Are they even worried about Code? Because he seems to be like the threat. Like, were they even
He
worried
was
about him?
supposed to be the biggest threat
Do they
before
care?
the time skip.
I have a question. Is Baruto even like? I mean, he stepped on his face. I guess not. 'Cause I
He's
definitely
really not worried.
I saw that panel. So damn. So I guess my question is, I have two questions. One, they said that he had these things called limiters, and he got them taken off, and he still was getting his ass whooped.
Oh, yeah,
Allegedly.
he got his
Yeah,
limiters
no.
taken off.
Yeah, he
too.
got his limiters taken off.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be. He was already, I think, around Naruto's level before the limiters, and then after the limiters, he's supposed to be like what, stronger than Naruto,
But
and
he
it's
still
stronger
lost.
than Ishiku.
He
And
got
then
2 amps. Yeah.
yeah, he got 2 amps, and then time skip happens. Baruto literally tells him, he's like, "You're not." He's like, "You're not even worth my time." He's like, "I can kill you right now, or you can help me." Dude's like, "What are you talking about? I'm Code." Then he stepped on his face. He's like, "I told you, you're not worth my time."
Hold on a second. So Baruto's gonna turn into ally out of Code. Be like, damn, I'm not him.
I don't know. He did run
That's
away.
what I believe.
Damn.
It's funny, Ty. He is so bad at being a villain that he was concocting a plan with the Divine Tree. The Divine Tree turned into villains, and he had no idea that
They could
these
do
things
it.
were turning into villains that were turning on him, and he had a whole plan around it. Like, bro, ain't no.
They said you gave us
what are you
awareness.
doing?
They literally said you gave us awareness, and we realized you're awful. You ain't shit. Like that's literally what they basically said. That like you gave us self-awareness, and we realized that you're garbage. Like you're not worth anything. Like you're a waste of space. I'm like, yo, this is the villain that's been getting hyped up. Like it's terrible. I don't know.
He definitely by far the worst villain in Boruto. It's crazy.
Is he the worst? Is he the worst new gen villain?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's not close.
Damn, that's
But
crazy.
I think he's taking the back seat now, and he's not really the villain we thought he was going to be. So
Damn.
fodder, bro. Straight up.
he
But,
got replaced by the things he created.
Tree monsters. Shout out tree monsters. You know what I'm saying? Miles, do you have anybody on Fraud Watch?
My last one was Gojo, but other than that, not really.
Oh, you're being nice. Okay.
Not
Being a
really.
little nice. Anybody else want to be not nice? We ain't here to be nice.
Not really.
I'm not nice. You already know. I'll be
Fraud. I will say Kishimoto really needs to like come through in these next few
okay.
months. No, he
We
needs
don't
to.
need to put Kishimoto on Fraud Watch. I'm just pushing.
No, I'm sorry. I love Naruto is what made me fall in love with anime, and Boruto has been such a letdown. And then this latest chapter,
He's trying to fix it. It was already cooked,
Kishimoto
bro.
on Fraud Watch.
I'm not saying maybe he just lost a step, bro. Maybe he just don't got it anymore, bro. Like it's
Hang
okay.
up
Like
the
yo,
jersey, bro.
you're
Hang it up.
old. He's old. He needs to spend time with his kids and stop writing it and stop putting it in his damn manga and his stories on video games. I don't need us. Know how much you need. Spend time with your kids. Hug your kids. Go on vacation. Do something.
Sounds like he needs to hang up the jersey. That's all I'm hearing.
He hugged them badass kids, but
Like maybe he just he just lost it, bro. I don't know.
I got somebody on Fraud Watch. It's a collection of people. And these people are not gonna like it, but Bakugo haters, you guys are on Fraud Watch.
Haters.
The clock is ticking, right?
But random on a big screen.
You know, the Bakugo haters are on Fraud Watch. You know, because I heard a lot of them know it.
Hater.
Yeah, you know, because you know a lot of times, you know, we complain about Yuno haters. Well, one of us complain about Yuno haters, but Bakugo's haters, you know, they have no justification for their hate. Man. It is, you know, I was hearing these things.
See that I disagree. There is justification. There's justification.
Listen, man, listen.
Yes,
You know,
go
No,
read
it's
the
not.
comments of my
No.
Bakugo video on my channel, and you'll see
No.
the justification, bro.
No,
You'll see the justification clearly.
absolutely zero. He's him, right?
As
But
a
here's
kid
my
that
thing.
got bullied, there's
Just
justification.
absolute justification, Ty. There's
Now,
absolute.
has he grown? Has he grown into a lovable character? Yes, but in the beginning there was justification.
Every single day, I get a different comment on that video saying that fuck him. I was bullied, and this is how it makes me feel.
Oh, I'm gonna
Wait. Do we need a whole topic about does Bakugo deserve hate?
Yeah, we can do it. You know, but you know, so crazy. Here's my thing, right? I'm asking y'all a question because y'all are saying that y'all have experienced that, and I'm sorry y'all experienced that. Let me ask y'all this question: what if you're experiencing bullying? Also, How I want to put this? I'm not trying to miss the bullying that Deku went through, but I grew up in Memphis. I seen some damn bullying. When he went, what Deku went through was bad. It was bad. But I was like,
Japanese bullying is different than.
no, I'm talking about
Oh,
what
you
I
don't
seen.
want to know about Japanese bullying.
No, guys, no. Hear what I'm saying? I'm saying what we saw in the story. I'm not talking about the culture that is, but that's different than what's actually presented in the story. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay.
So, that's unfortunate, but all I'm saying is, bro,
You
listen.
really trying to justify his bullying right now? That's
No,
what it sounds like.
no. I just good. I just think he's a good character. But I'm asking y'all a question. Y'all said y'all experienced bullying, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if y'all bully literally risk their life for you? Perfect example. What?
Okay, I appreciate that he risked his
Uh,
life. He
no,
still
no,
was
no,
my bully,
no,
bro. What are we talking about?
No. Stop.
Everything's not Gucci, bro.
No, right there. No. Random. You're not hearing what I'm saying. Listen, here's what I'm saying. Let me finish this, right? Let's say y'all experiencing bullying, right? And if this is a sensitive topic, just let me know and I'll back off. I'm being serious about that. If I ever step on anyone's, if I make somebody feel
I
some
don't
way,
know,
just
Tom. I feel like
actually
they're
no.
so
I'm
hurt right
being
now.
serious about this. Actually, let me know because we can.
You hurt your own feelings, Radell. I'm not gonna hold.
No. I'm being serious about that. But here's why I'll say this, right? Let's say you're experiencing bullying,
I'm a
right?
terrible person. Sorry.
Let's say you're experiencing bullying, and you're let's say a car is about to, your bully have had this weird thing where y'all could be cool. I don't really know, but a car is about to hit you at your school, and they push you out the way, and they get hit. Would y'all still hate them?
We never gonna be cool. He made my life a living hell.
Are you serious?
Once again.
What?
But okay, what is okay?
That's
Okay.
Hold on.
Let me
So
just
I have a different answer than random.
Yeah,
but
let me
go
just
ahead.
use one of my things. Do I okay, let me just use one of my things here, okay? At one point, he made fun of my skin, how I talked, my mother, and my culture, plus he kicked my ass. Okay. That was until I started playing football, then I kicked his ass.
Lonnie, stop laughing.
Listen. So mind you,
Stop
he attacked everything about me. Everything about me, Ty.
Okay.
Hey,
It was a setup.
right?
It was a setup that got me. Random, you really just said like.
Hey,
I
I'll say
appreciate
random.
mind you.
Random. Before you kind of go, because this sounds like a topic. This sounds like a topic. I think
and we can do
we
this,
should
we can do
save
this
this
next
for
week.
next episode.
I got y'all. I'm gonna just say. Just ask one more thing. Like, let's say that do you think that being serious? Do you think your bullying experience was worse than what we saw happen to Deku from Bakugo?
No, but because I don't. Because
the reason
I'm gonna answer you, Ty. I'm gonna answer you, Ty.
Okay,
But I'm
go
also gonna what random said because basically your question earlier. Because I was in a situation where like there was someone that I would consider a bully in my life or whatever for like years, and then they did something that like low key saved my life, and like it was a crazy situation. I won't dive into it in the episode, but like they did do something where it's like, yo, like I could have died right there, and that bully like saved me. Did I still have animosity towards the person because of the prior stuff? Yes.
Doesn't go away, Ty.
But did I? No, I'm not
done.
done. I'm not done. But did I acknowledge the fact that, like, yo, maybe they're not the exact person that I thought they was? Was the hate of that previous action still there? Yes, but it did give me clarity about who they are as an overall person, and it did change my viewpoint. Did I still have beef with them because of their previous actions? Yes, but did I learn to like overcome that and just move on and grow from that situation overall? Yes. So it's like let's say think about Bakugo. I hated him in the beginning. He had character development and growth, and then I learned to appreciate his character.
I guess what I'm saying is, and this is the difference with Bakugo, right? The difference with Bakugo is that it didn't just I'm treating Deku horribly and then I save him. It was progression of him trying to be a better person way before that. Like imagine if you're bullied, and again, I'm also talking about the context of how Deku was specifically bullied. I don't know how y'all were experienced. I'm talking about because what I see what Deku went through, that's one more so I'm referring to. You have someone, imagine you're experiencing bullying, and then your bully is trying to make amends with you for a while. And then they then they risk their life to save you, and they're in the hospital because of it. To me, if I experienced that, I don't think it could be in me to hate them if they've been trying to make amends with me for so long, and then they almost die for me. To me, I'd be cool with them. I ain't gonna hold you. I would.
Now,
Personally,
Bakugo
I'm
making
just gonna
amends
use-
for
I'm
a
just gonna
while,
use
that's
the
where I
word-
kind of differ with you, Ty, because I don't know if he was like making like amends over and over and over again.
I'm gonna say
That's
this.
why-
I'm gonna say this,
No,
Ty. I'm
was.
just gonna use a tried and true Radell staple. I just disagree. Mind you, for most of their literal lives, Bakugo has been a piece of shit to Deku. Okay, piece of shit to him. Okay, even when they were toddlers, what were we seeing because Bakugo was picking on somebody else? What did he do? He got his boys hold him down as he beat the shit out of Deku.
What? Okay.
As he beat the shit out of him.
I'm not trying to.
That's literally how the story started. Was him
that's
punching
fine.
him in the face.
That's fine. But you know what, bro? I'm not. I view the world differently, bro. Here's my thing. If I'm getting bullied by someone and the only thing making me bullied by them because I want to hang out with them, at what point I look at myself, all right,
First of all,
Tyler.
I have a problem with Deku, but that's a whole different discussion.
But so I'm looking at a standpoint of if this dude is saying now he shouldn't have put his hands on Deku. But he is saying leave me alone, and Deku keeps following this nigga, bro. That to me is like, okay, Deku, he don't want to be around you. Leave him alone. He's not. He's toxic. He's toxic.
I have more issues with Deku than I do
more
Bakugo,
issues
actually.
with Deku than I do Bakugo, really, if I'm being 100%. But hold on. Let me say this though. Did Deku keep getting in Bakugo's business? Absolutely he did. Because goddamn, at some point you think the fifth ass whooping, you'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna leave this dude alone. I'm just gonna leave him alone. But I'm gonna keep getting. But if it was me personally, we never gonna be cool. We're not gonna be like, hey, let's go let's go to the bar tomorrow. We never gonna be that way. I'm gonna be cordial. I'm gonna be professional. But no, fuck, I remember you was beat my ass. That shit just don't change. I don't care. I don't care if you saved my life. Because guess what, bro? I saved your life too. I was out here fighting in the trenches too with you. That's what I was doing.
What?
I was fighting too. It wasn't just like he was taking all the blows, bro. I was out there fighting too, bro. And I fully appreciate you, Bakugo, that you took the bullet for me. I truly do. But we are never gonna be friends. Never.
I just felt. Listen, man.
We're never gonna be friends.
I'll say, Randall, are you a man of faith?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, wait.
I'm not a man of faith. I'm not a man of faith.
Don't actually. My dad's a whole bishop, and I'm not forgiven.
I was say, the Bible says
the
Bible says you actually have a soft heart. Your heart sounds hard, man. I want you to have a soft heart.
Look. Maybe one day
I want you to have a soft heart.
And Ty, even if I did forgive Bakugo, I would never forget. We're not just gonna be like, all right, bro, you saved my life. Let's go to the bar when you're healthy.
No.
Hey, forgive and forget. You know.
And here's why I disagree with Lonnie.
Fools. That's for fools if you forget.
Here's why I disagree with Lonnie. In season 3 is where they have a first interaction that seems to be them going in the right direction. And we understand that a lot of their moving forward, a lot of the talks about All for One and One for All have between All Might, Deku, and Bakugo. Like they're in rooms together having these conversations. So we know that they're consistently making amends. They did a whole Endeavor AC arc together. Like they were working towards a better relationship for seasons. It wasn't just like I bully you, I save you, now we're cool. It was I recognize that what I did was wrong, and now we're making amends slowly, and then I risk my life for you, and then I apologize. That is what that is.
So
we all have different aspects and views on forgiveness. Like I myself am not a very forgiving person. Once you wrong me, it's so hard. I don't care what you do. You can save my mom, I still might not forgive you. That's just my personality.
We're gonna put a pin in this conversation. Like I said, next episode we'll have a whole thing about Bakugo.
Let Miles
cook. Ty, just as a heads up, I hold grudges for life, Ty. I'm still mad at my kindergarten teacher for not giving me a muffin, but giving everyone else a muffin.
I'm not gonna lie. That's tough.
You can ask my parents about it. I still think about that to this day. I'll be at her deathbed because she didn't give me that damn muffin. Fuck that. Her name was Mrs. Payne. Fuck Mrs. Payne.
Hey man, Lonnie's a special person, but like I said, we're to put a pin into that. We're gonna have a whole conversation.
Miles had something to say.
No, I'm not.
Miles, real quick.
I'm not gonna add to you guys. Oh, don't go. My fault.
I'm just gonna make this announcement real quick. So Next episode, we'll talk about does Bakugo deserve the hate,
I need J-Rob here.
and we'll also do a top 10 list since we're gonna wrap up the rival deuteragonist portion because we've been doing that for
Deuteragonist. God damn it.
Yuno,
Deuteragonist.
Aki, Bakugo, Megami. So we're gonna do a top 10 collective BSS top 10 best rival / deuteragonist.
Also, real quickly for Miles Go on Saturday. On Saturday, we're going to be doing a live stream with a little baddie, and then next Saturday we're gonna have some more girls up on here on Saturday for a little special called Anime and Chill. And yeah, it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna play some games with them, watch some movies, watch some TV. You know, it's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be good content. But yeah, Miles, what's up?
Real quick, so I have my agenda to push because I didn't know we could do like outside of like characters or whatever.
Yeah, go for it.
Yo, Tank Jones, no hate because we're actually having a cordial conversation right now about it. But I hate when people take like, let's say, links from a website or from like a wiki or anything like that, and they don't properly research and then they present the facts as if they're facts. Because we can't have a proper argument. So like if I was to ask you to break down any of those comments you made in relation to Sanji's observation hockey, you wouldn't really be able to quantify any of it because you're reading off of a link, which I actually posted in the BAM Discord because I found it. I just think that's nasty. I don't think he's trying to be nasty, but I feel like if you want to talk about anything anime, you should really like, or manga, you should really like know it off the back of your hand, or at least have some reference of knowledge that you can fall back on instead of like a YouTube link that's not really like your own knowledge. Because what he kind of said, what he said in the comments is like complete cap, and like I'm talking to him about it now. But that's all like that's blatant lies. It's not true.
He's calling you out, Tank. Get your scriptures ready.
What kind of business we talking about?
I feel like Tank's a heavy hitter. I feel like it'll be a good debate.
So he put chapter 998 to reference proof of Sanji's observation hockey. There's a scene. There's two scenes actually. There's one in 997 when Jinbei and Luffy are running together, and Luffy goes, "Where's Sanji? Where the hell did he go?" And Jinbei's like, "Oh, I don't know. He ran off with a ferocious look on his face." The people who made that narrative on that link are basically saying it's because of observation hockey. When if you look at the chapter previous to that, Sanji senses a woman going along with what Lonnie's friend was saying earlier. He senses a woman calling for help, and that forces him to run and flee the field later. And then when they're in a pinch later, Luffy asks Jinbei again, "Yo, where's Sanji?" And Jinbei's like, "Yo, I don't know. Maybe he's fighting a really powerful foe or somebody really strong and he sensed him." And it's just him fucking off trying to find that woman once again. It has nothing to do with his hockey, his power, or anything like that. The man is horny trying to go find a woman.
Miles, I view it like this: like every character, like in stories, like characters have certain roles, and one of Sanji's big roles in the One Piece story is to save the girl. Like he's like that's one of the things that he does. Like, but I don't think his character, like a purpose of his character being to save girls, means that he has advanced observation hockey. Those are two different things.
Yeah,
I honestly don't think Sanji's character is meant to only save girls. I think in general he's meant to be the vanguard of the Straw Hats. He's never going to reach the heights of say a Luffy or a Zoro because his primary objective is to be.
I wouldn't say like roles. I say it's like one of his themes. Like one of Zoro's themes is that he gets lost. One of Sanji's themes is that one of Sanji's themes is that he saves girls. It's just a theme of the character.
And it has nothing to do with their power or anything like that.
Yes, I think
people definitely need to recognize that certain things happen in One Piece just because it's fun, right? It's kind of like the situation where, you know, someone does something crazy and then a bunch of people's eyes just pop out their head. You don't need to rationalize it. You don't need to logically break that down and saying, I don't know, this is some awakened. No, we don't need to do all that. We need to just understand it's just a gag. That's all it is. That's all
a theme in Sanji's character to save girls. Like that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. So you know, Oda does this purposefully to kind of draw out when certain things mean something, and it's very clear when he has some intentionality behind. Okay, this is an important aspect of their current abilities and their future abilities. There's nothing to indicate that Sanji has future sight in the series. So Yeah, and I think
Yeah,
people
like think of Chopper. Like Chopper is the doctor, so like a theme of him is gonna be like he's gonna like heal something or cure something or something along those lines. It doesn't mean that he has just like the superpower to heal. It's just that's a theme and role of his character. Like we all know that in every arc, there's gonna be something that happens where he's gonna have to like maybe heal somebody, like how he did with Zoro and Wano, or like find a cure. Like one of those things are. It's just the point of his character.
Yeah. So with that said, we are done here. We have a lot of things planned for the future for BSS, of course. We have some excellent content ideas, TikTok live streams, Twitch gaming streams, where certain people are going to be playing some games. Maybe we'll get that D&D up and running. Who's the dungeon master? I don't know, but it sounds like it'll be fun. So we got some
Got it cooking.
ideas,
Real
of
quick,
course.
Radell,
And
before I
the
forget.
Discord, I think we probably plan to do something in the future with Discord to make some content with that as well.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. Of course, tune in, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and of course, rate it 5 stars on the podcast.
Random has something. Random has
Yeah, I
something.
know.
Don't forget, episode 3 of Pluto, the YouTube guys was hating because they blocked the thing, but I will fix it so that we don't get blocked next week. And also, don't forget, I know I started off glazing, and I'm gonna end up glazing. Make sure you get Hustle by Ty. Great manga. Can't wait for volume.
It better be here Friday, Ty.
Hey, that cover, by the way, Ty, that you showed is hard. I'm like, hey, go ahead. Let me know when it's ready. Let me know when it's ready. And I'm
You draw it all too?
immediately.
Oh yeah, I draw it.
The artist, man. Shout out Ty, man.
amazing,
Great,
yo.
making some great content right there. You know what I'm saying? Ty doing his thing.
It better be here Friday, Ty. It better be here
Hey,
Friday.
I ain't gonna lie to you, if it's not, man, you gotta call Amazon, gang.
I'm calling you. You made this. I'm calling you.
We call
Lonnie's
it
gonna try to get it
direct
from
what
you.
you talking about?
Amazon literally prints it and sends it, man.
But hey, great job though, for real. Great job.
No, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
So that's it. That's all we got. Y'all have a good one. 5 stars, subscribe, like, and all that good stuff. Peace.
Peace. I'm having so much fun.